if you wanna travel, then go alone. Yeah, what's the point in us if I never know? Yeah, if you're gonna leave, I'ma let you go. I'm tired of the pain. Go away. I'm done with yesterday. There's not a single day that passes without you on my mind. Not even 1 minute can end up before you come around. I yearn for the days when I see your face here before me. I long for the times you held me in your arms. Whoa. How I wish that you were here to give me everything I want. But I know that life's unfair and we can't always have it all. Whoa, whoa, I wish that you were here. Whoa, whoa, I wish that you were here. 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 There's not a single day that passes, not even 1 minute can end up. I yearn for the days when I see your face here before me. I long for the times you held me in your arms. Whoa. How I wish that you were here to give me everything I want. But I know that life's unfair and we can't always have it all. Whoa, whoa, I wish that you were here. Whoa, whoa, I wish that you were here. 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 Baby, wait, I know that you're afraid, but it'll be okay if you just stay with me. And we can run from here, and we can disappear, and they won't find us where we are going, dear. So baby, hold on to me, 'cause I know I can make you believe in something that only we can see. Oh, so baby, hold on to me. Hold on to me. Baby, wait, I know that you're afraid, but it'll be okay if you just stay with me. And we can run from here, and we can disappear, and they won't find us where we are going, dear. So baby, hold on to me, 'cause I know I can make you believe in something that only we can see. Oh, so baby, hold on to me. Hold on to me.
All right, hi guys, welcome. Mortal Portal podcast number 10. My name's Putson. I'm just gonna go ahead and let everyone introduce themselves, and then we'll get into it. Zach, you want to go ahead first?
I'm Zachary Gamble, streamer, Goblin Cave. You're next. Whoever's to the right of me.
What guild are you in?
I'm
You're-
not really in a guild.
Oh, you're not. Okay.
Oh, is it me next?
Yep.
Hey, everybody. This is RFive. I'm in Integrity. You already know.
He's excited to be here, believe it or not.
I am excited to be here.
You just
I
sound
am.
so sad. Okay.
It's like Bruce Wayne, ain't it?
All right. Whoever wants to go. It doesn't
And I'm
matter.
Skylander, representing the Miscreants out here. Everybody knows who I am. How you guys doing?
I'm Euriloco, Mur Vikings. I used to be the cook. Now I'm a armor and weaponsmithing. Just hanging with these guys tonight.
Nice. Yeah, just on that real quick, like I've noticed like on a lot of my characters, I'm able to fit both weapon and armor crafting. Is that like intended?
Yeah, I think
Yes, sir.
so. With MO2 it is.
You have to be selective about what materials you use, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
you can use most materials, most like common materials. I mean, you probably won't get all the way up to like tungsteel chronite and shit, but you can get all the way up to like steel on both. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't
Yeah, you
had
can.
like an issue.
On a human, you definitely can.
Yeah,
I
Pretty
can do
nice.
it all.
you can do it all, baby.
It's nice though. If go ahead.
Sorry. Especially the Tingermain hybrid. You get lots of extra points.
I was gonna say, if you got the lores, it doesn't matter if you can do a shield, a sword, or armor. You got the lore for the steel, and then you can make, made of steel. It's quite good, really.
Yeah, and I do like 80 armor smithing and 100 in the weapon smithing for the weapon of my choice.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm really excited for Kite Shields. I don't know when they're coming, of course, but Kite Shields should be pretty dope. I wonder if like they'll end up being like foot only. Like no, you can't have it on like a mounted character. You know what I mean? Like equipped or whatever. That would be interesting.
There should be different variants. There should be like a small mounted kite shield and then a foot one that's massive and it's foot only.
Yeah, imagine like if you could like how they it was like broken, but they had like spear stance and like MO1. It'd be cool if like there was like something for like shields, like where the kite shield was so massive you could just like plant it down the ground as like stationary cover or something like now it's like an object you can't like run through for like cavalry or something.
That would be
If you
pretty
stick
cool.
up like a bunch next to each other, you could like build this kind of like wall against cavalry. So that
Yeah,
would
you
be
could just give 'em
that'd be
a-
pretty cool.
You just give them some health.
They need to
Yeah,
have
I-
a phalanx formation or something against Cav or something cool like that.
Yeah, we need
Or
pikes too, in
Or
general.
just have spears stop cav in their tracks.
Well, I think spears aren't actually going to be. They're not like long enough. Like lances are longer than spears, so that what you would do in real life is you would have pikes. Those are much longer spears. That would be like their sole purpose was anti-cav.
And what about
Basically.
halberds? They were also anti-Cav.
Yeah, pikes I think were longer than halberds in general though. But yeah, you're right.
A lot.
I got a funny story about pikes. I done some live action. It was my brother's a stag do, and I joined this group in England, and we had to wear full-on armor and go at each other like a bit like it was like 1,000 people in the field.
We have a
And
group like that here
1,000.
called the
Jesus
SPA.
fuck.
yeah, so you got cavalry, you got musketeers, you got the pikemen, and every pikeman is a group, and we're holding these bloody huge lances, massive things, yeah. And there's the cavalry coming around, but obviously the cavalry doesn't barge into you or anything. But the other pike dudes, they do. So it's like playing rugby in full armor.
Wait, were the cavalry riding real horses?
Real horses, yeah, and you got cannons going in the background, like proper live action, I
Wait,
forgot the name
there's
of the
cannons
Uh,
going off and the horses aren't just like freaking out or anything?
But yeah, the horses, they borrow the horses from the police because they're trained for like bombs and things like that.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Is this
that's
like
coming
a
out of
reenactment?
more down. Sorry, reenactment. Yeah, that's it.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was good fun. I got some pictures and people like break legs and arms and fingers and stuff. Pretty tough.
Karail, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. I'm sorry, but yeah, Assassin's supposed to be here. I don't know where he is. He's just MIA at the moment. And then he's also said those shields you place down are called pavis. I don't know how you say that word. Pavis? I don't. Yeah, but
Close
I
enough.
guess those are what.
I can't
That'd be
pronounce
cool
that
though.
word either.
Yeah, I've seen that in like another game, maybe but Bannerlord or something.
Bunch of games, really.
Yeah.
Bannerlord.
Oh yeah, maybe it was in Mordhau too.
Mm-hmm.
Pavis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think
That
Chivalry,
was
they
it.
had Pavis, didn't they? In Chivalry, you could put the shield down like you guys mentioned earlier, and you had a health on it or something. I think you could just kick it as well, and you'd come down.
I really
As
like
a
Chivalry.
crossbowman, right?
Yeah.
I liked
Yeah,
the idea of chivalry. I thought the one button block in both it and Mordhau was just kind of soulless, and I got bored of the combat really fast.
yeah, it's more like casual theme park. It's not like elite like gamer type PvP.
Well,
And
look at War
Chivalry
of
at
the
least.
Roses or Mountain Blade and shit, you know?
War of the Rose is amazing, man. I love
That was a great game.
the combat system, the armor, because in when you're gonna get the sword and cut a guy in half who's wearing steel plate? Never, man. You might be able to pierce it, but you're never gonna cut it. So I love that combat that War of the Roses had.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I didn't like crossbows much, but I liked the longbow or whatever in Civ 2. That was
Oh,
really
I haven't
fun.
played that yet.
I haven't
You
played. I played the
haven't
beta,
played
but I
oh.
haven't played that.
Yeah,
No,
well, I mean, I
was
haven't played it
gonna skip
recently, but it was pretty good at launch.
Yeah, I was gonna skip it myself. Just play Mortal. You know what I mean? At this point.
I know. Otherwise, you keep buying so many games, and you got a massive list of 500
Oh yeah,
games.
do like 500 games I don't fucking play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my Steam. I have so many games I don't play. Does anyone in here play mounted combat?
I play Mounted Mage.
I may a
I
little
played
bit.
Mountain.
I do mounted. Yeah.
Do you guys use lances or no?
I use lances.
How are you liking the lance buff?
I like it. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised to see it. I thought the last buff they gave it wasn't too bad. The lances were still pretty viable. But now they buffed them again. So I mean, what else can I
What are you
say?
hitting for on average? Like, would you say on
I mean,
like
I've hit horses in heavy armor in the head for like a little over 90.
with
That's
what,
Really?
like
good.
tungsteel
It's kind of
or
broken, eh?
steel? What are you using?
So usually always a steel head. I have made a couple lances that were steel core with tungsteel heads, and those were beastly brutal. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean flake stone with a steel head is just so easy to shit out. I got a lot of
For
those.
Wait, you're hitting heavy armor 90 plus with that?
Yeah.
What's
Now
the
I'm not saying
strength?
Oh, that's not good, dude.
no, wait, hang on. It is good because the horses die so goddamn fast, and he's got to be able to
Mhm.
get in there and land that hit. You know what I mean? Before the horse fucking gets like focused down.
yeah.
It's
Right,
not
but
In
just
my
that.
opinion,
Very
wait,
true.
are you talking about? I thought you were talking about players.
the the
Oh,
melee
on
damage
another,
on
But if
yeah,
you're in like a
I
1v1 against that, like what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, you're gonna get two shot as someone in heavy armor on foot.
That
it's not
happened to me
that
the
it's
other
not
day.
easy.
You
I
saw
mean,
it,
honestly,
Zach, for yourself when I tried to jump
it's
you and that Kodo
try
guy
it.
came out of nowhere.
Try it. Go try it. Build a fucking
yeah,
mounted
it's not
combat
that
guy
easy.
and go fucking try it.
A
What,
foot
with
It's
archer,
lances?
easy.
an
Yeah.
Alvarian foot archer, to fucking do some work on your ass.
He's practiced. That's why it sounds so good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A quick question: what's the strength requirement for that lance then with flake and tungsteel at R5?
Uh, the flake and tungsteel, I don't know. Like the flake and steel, I think it's pretty. It's like around the 120s or whatever. Like the steel and tungsteel one I made was like 170, I think.
Holy
You know, it was
shit!
something. But you're not actually swinging it. You know, you're just holding it out while you hit something.
Oh, I see. So yeah, okay, makes sense. But you still
Well,
gotta, don't you got a debuff or something when you're holding it, or something that you can't hold it?
I mean, so like when you're on horseback, you're not laying it down, right? You got it held up in the air.
Yeah.
So you turn towards your target, you're focusing on your target, and you've gained your range. You're not going to put that down if you're too far away, because then you're just killing Stam for nothing. So you ride towards them until you're in the appropriate range. Then you have to lay it down. Now you're not swinging it, so you're never going to really drain the hell out of that Stam. You're just holding it. Now it does slowly drain your Stam. But if you miss your target, then you put it back up and all your stam comes back, because you got your weapon now so you're not really actually giving it the swing. You're just holding it.
Like
And
a
then you
couch
cancel your
slam.
swing. Right. So you're trying to just make them run into it basically. And if you don't hit them, then you cancel your swing and you put it back up.
Fair enough.
It can get tricky with the stam if you get too overzealous. Like if you're really just constantly trying to do it, you're gonna stam out, of course.
It's all
It's for
about the
jousting.
timing, right? It's
Right.
like fighting, right?
It's true jousting. You're supposed to go at them full speed, fourth gear, hit or miss, and then get the hell out of there, and then try again.
So there's skill involved, which is quite nice.
Now,
Yeah,
going
it
back to
was.
what we had said earlier, we do need like better spears versus cav for footies.
There needs to be more counterplay for footies against calf for sure. It really needs should be a priority.
Well,
Yeah.
pikes. I mean, if you're looking at the immersion effect, would be
Yeah,
big ass
pikes.
pikes.
And I do think that the melee on mounted needs to be fucking powerful. It needs to be. Otherwise, that horse is just gonna die out from underneath them. Now, if horses change or something along those lines, maybe there's some tweaks that need to happen in the future. But right now, it doesn't take much to kill the horse out from underneath that mounted combat guy.
Agree.
Yeah, but I mean, you're also missing the other end of that. It's like that horse is like adding like base HP to the rider, because the rider typically is going to be just as capable on foot as the guy he's killing, like the foot fighter. So like while you're killing the horse just to dismount him, he's killing you. So maybe like you killed the horse, but now you're at like 3/5 of your HP and he's at full HP because you're hitting the horse the whole time. So now you're still at a disadvantage because you had to go through 300 HP of that horse just to get him to where you could possibly, you know what I mean? So that's the other side of that too. Is like he's going to be basically just as capable on foot as you are.
Sometimes that's the case, but you come against it. I don't think good foot fighters get enough credit because good foot fighters can take down mounted people very easily. Because usually mounted people don't have a whole lot of speed and dex and shit like that either, so they're not going to be fast on foot.
Well, yeah, if you're
And a
running
good
Tribrid, you don't have Dex. If you're not running Tribrid, you're gonna have Dex.
I have a question.
I have dex.
I have a question for the guys with lances. So I mean RFive, I know you're doing that. But have you tried the blunt damage ones as well? They have been buffed as well, or I'm guessing you're
I
using the spearhead one.
I have not tried the blunt head one since the new buff. I tried them after the last buff, and you could build them in such a way that it barely dismounted other people, and then maybe that's what they buffed because I didn't honestly, in my opinion, the blunt lances were the shittier lances prior to the last patch.
I have a feeling it's still this case now as well, but I haven't tried them myself.
Well, I think what Victus is saying is they're pretty shit, but I think their intended use is just for pure dismounting. We don't really have those mechanics in yet, like across the board. So I think they're pretty much useless at the moment, but they won't be at some point. Whatever that is, I don't know. Who here plays Mage? Anyone play Mage?
I do.
I really
What do
want to, man, but I haven't done it yet.
What do you think about the Mage buffs? This last patch, Skylander.
Oh, they're good. They're good. And your regen with your mana, you can with your armor effect is a little bit lower. It's nice. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if people are still going to use lightning at all. I mean, I'm still getting in fights, and I'm not seeing anyone use lightning. Just because it costs
Oh
Cuprum.
yeah, lightning. Yeah.
If it
Just
didn't
not-
cost
Doesn't do enough
Cuprum, it
damage.
probably people would use it more. But it
You're
has
just
like the
better off-
same
you're just
range as
better off using
Thunderlash.
T-Lash
Yeah,
because it uses Cuprum too, doesn't it?
yeah, it uses Cuprum. I thought T-Lash uses Cuprum and some other reagent I can't remember. And then lightning is literally just one Cuprum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lightning's in a really bad spot right now, in my opinion. 'cause
Need to
it's
buff
not
it.
worth casting from a mana to damage ratio or the cast time. It's just not worth throwing when you can just outburst spam. Right?
Yeah, Outburst got buffed too, and it has still the second highest range in the because Mental Projectile got buffed over Outburst now.
Oh yeah, it's like a real assassin's tool now, bro. Like hardcore sniper.
Yeah. I think it was-
Everybody uses it.
I think it was 3,800 before. Now it's 4,500, and Outburst is 4K, so jumped up there quite a lot.
If
So
you're
I
not
don't
paying
think maybe that-
attention, sorry, go ahead.
I don't play mage, but I'm curious. What does lightning even hit for when you use it in a combo?
Is it low
I
40s?
hit somebody for like 36 with one once.
Yeah, it's like 30.
Yeah, I think the spellbook even says it's like mid-30s to 40 something.
It don't hit that high though, unless you got real strong intelligence.
I mean, I have
Yeah.
138 int and I hit 36.
Oh damn, yeah. I got 97 int hits for like 30.
I don't
Now,
even
20.
know
is it-
why they even buff spurt damage. It was a little weird.
Well, is it
Spurt
implemented like
mage.
if you spurt somebody first and then you hit him with lightning, you do extra
No,
damage with the
that's
lightning,
not a
right?
thing. That's not a thing.
They
That
haven't put
should
that
be.
in.
That's cool. It'd be interesting.
But spurt is fast as fuck. So you could be like a skeletal Shiva and nobody can fucking catch you and you just spurt people down.
Yeah, but it still only hits for like 5 to like maybe
5
10.
to like 10.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I thought about that actually. You know, I reckon they should do like if you do a lightning on somebody who's wearing metal armor, that you should stun them for like a second or something. You know, or like fire on cloth, and the guy gets a debuff that burns him for like 5 seconds or something, like a corrupt.
That would make perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be cool. And that'd be a nice little buff, a nice little tactical buff for mages. So like you're being chased down, you quickly T-lash or lightning or whatever. The guy's stunned there for a second or something. I don't know. It takes a second off of your next cast, you know. So
I wonder if we will see any actual like CC spells too from me. Any school ever.
That would
There
be
should
cool.
be. That'd be dope. Well, I mean, earthquake should dismount. So
yeah,
What if
I
they
would
had
add a
like
spell that lets me freeze the ground and then run on that ice.
and slide away.
Mm-hmm.
it'd be cool if they had like a spell to like somewhat balance it that kind of works like a mental projectile, but it's not like cast like like you just stay on them and then when it finishes casting it shoots off, it's channeled and while you're looking at the person maybe they get slowed by X percentage or something, you know what I mean? That way like you can't like just slow them and kite them. This is more of like a group effort thing, like you're slowing someone running away so that someone else can kill them or something, you know what I mean? I think
Mhm.
that kind of CC mechanic would work because it doesn't make it so I could slow him, run away, or slow him, catch all the way up, and then kill him. Like it would still require another person to actually finish him. I'm just slowing him
No, I
with
like that a
CC.
lot. I like that a lot.
or even with earthquake, man. Why can't you drop somebody on the floor with earthquake? Everybody around you goes on the floor, even yourself, if it has to be.
Or even
Oh
just
yeah.
add a slow to people who get hit by earthquake, like 20% slow for a few seconds, or
Yeah.
something. Like stumble them or something.
Henrik keeps saying that just wait until the next cruise comes out, and we'll be delighted. So we gotta trust and believe, I guess.
Oh, yes, people are talking about it in chat. There was an ice trap from Elementalism, big giant AoE glove that traps everyone inside. I never saw
That was
that.
pretty cool. Yeah, it was rare.
So it was like a dome or something, or
You saw like the blind effects and stuff from necromancy. That was like the most common of like CC-ish.
what do you mean? How do you get blinded? What did it do?
It was a necromancy spell that literally blacked out your screen for a few seconds.
Like
Completely,
it was an
complete
AoE
blackout.
or a single target?
Single target.
Oh, I seen that.
It was a ranged cast, single target.
And he's talking about a disease spell that drains players'
Not if
stamina or slows pets.
not if it was a controlled version of CC, like he was saying earlier. Where it's like something you have to like continuously channel or something, and it doesn't do much damage, but it does slow the target, so you still need a second person. I don't know. I thought it was smart, personally. I would like to see more ways to counterplay these different builds. You know what I mean? Personally, like the more tools we have to play in the sandbox with, the better. Am I wrong?
No, I agree.
Just depends what it is. Blackout was AoE. The whiteout was. What's a whiteout?
Oh, there were two different types of blinds. One turned your screen kind of white, the other one black. I guess I don't really remember anymore.
You're just throwing ink at them.
It depends on kind of what you like, kind of thing.
Yeah, and there was a swarm too, like the insect swarm. I remember that. I never got my hands on that one, but I think I got
MO1,
as far as.
MO1, I only played into 2015, I think, for like 5 months, and then I left it because
It was garbage. It was
it
amazing.
was.
It was
It was my
amazing.
favorite game in the world, but it was garbage.
Yeah, yeah. It's
I
buggy
don't
as
blame
all
you
hell.
for. Yeah, I don't blame you for dipping out on that one.
Yeah, I think after I left, they've done a lot of things, but
Yeah, it took them too long though.
hmm.
They like hired some interns or something and started cranking out updates, and that was pretty dope. But I wasn't playing anymore at that point. The game was dead.
This assassin just died. I don't know. Probably won't come to. So what'd you guys think of the housing stream that Henrik did?
Looked pretty cool. I could see some potential issues with it, but other than that, it looked pretty cool.
What
It looks
issues?
awesome. Excited for housing, but I heard there was like some bugs on the stairs and stuff. You had to jump.
Yeah, he was doing that, but I think that will get sorted.
I just see being able to break into them bitches being like wicked easy.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to get into the chest though.
We'll
The
still
chest's
have to
supposed to be
see.
locked.
Yeah, the chest should be locked.
But with what? The key that you make at the door? Like, what's the chest locked with? And who's it locked out to? I'm just saying, there was a lot of stuff that really didn't.
Talk.
We'll see. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's how they did it in MO1, wasn't it? You got a key from the door, and then if somebody
Mhm.
killed you, they could get into your chest.
Well, I'm pretty sure there was like an owner's chest that people talked about that only literally the owner could get into. Any additional chest was like unlocked via the key that you made at the door.
Okay. I only ever like used houses. I never built one. So
Yeah, I never built one. I had one. I had one in the jungle. And then I forgot to pay the taxes on it, and it fell.
Oh,
more
God.
drama needed. All right, fuck you, Pootsin.
Yeah,
Fair.
but
That
Nerf
was a good reply.
Mages.
I had nothing to that. I think Mages got their nerf when Vila's health got buffed, personally.
Wait, what? How does that make sense? Like,
Because Vilas are fast as fuck, and if you build them for melee, they rip mages apart. And now they have the health to survive and get to the mage.
Hmm.
I guess it was like a sidebar nerf, if anything.
No, exactly. It was just enough, really, in my opinion, to bring the mages into. You know what I mean? But like before, the mages were a little bit too strong. There was no real hard way to counter them other than mounted, and they still did hella damage to horses. So, like, and I really think the speedy boy Vilas, those hybrid builds and whatnot, they catch and slaughter mages now pretty effectively compared to, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing I'm seeing a lot more of them now since they have 100 and human levels health.
I noticed that a growth since last patch of Villas.
I think you have a 180.
Yeah, it's like 189. I
I
think.
think everybody's playing Vila now because it's impossible to catch people unless you're playing a Vila. You just can't catch people. Even on my Vila, sometimes I can't catch people, and I'm like, what the hell?
Did you guys see Diffrail's video he put out today with like his like mage dagger build that he had?
I heard about it. I didn't see that yet, but I did hear about that. People were
Yeah,
talking about it.
he has like
That's
a
probably fun.
25 strength on his like dex mage, and he was like doing like consistent like 30 damages with his little quick stabs. Kind of
That's awesome.
broken, it seems like too.
It's
I
like weak spot, right?
yeah.
No, it was just some of them were weak spots, yeah, but like he was doing like 30 regular damage with
Oh,
25 strength.
what
As a
fucking
I
mage.
dagger did he have? What the hell?
I don't know. I don't think it was that good. It was probably like a flake stone or like a jadeite dagger.
I
Yeah,
tried it. I used the riser blade with Coupon, and I done a 60 on body weak spot.
No
Yeah.
armor, like a naked.
No, with armor. I can't remember what
Oh.
armor the guy was wearing. Maybe in season or Molar. Nothing great, but still. But because I don't have my dex is 93, so I don't really get weak spots.
Right.
But when I do get it, it's like
What's the
Yeah, no.
range on that dagger too, though? You know what I mean? Like how hard
It's
is
real
that to
low, isn't
actually
it?
be good with?
tight.
Like
it's
what is the skill cap on that build? Is all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
well,
I
he
don't
had
think
a
it's terribly OP.
well, it doesn't matter what the skill cap is. It matters how much damage he does and how much damage he can take, right? So he's holding a dagger. and then he's got a shield. So if he's using a dagger, he's gonna be like hugging you basically, right? So what
Trying
that
to
does
anyway.
is right, sure. And then what that does to you, if he is capable of sticking on you, which is relatively pretty easy to do, I would say, you're going to be getting more handle hits because he's literally hugging you. And then two, he's holding a shield, which already adds like all this complicated issues of like where you're just going to be hitting the shield like left and right trying to hit him because like he's also an Alvarin, so he's really small and his shield like covered came up to like here on his face. So like there was like a clip too where like he 1v1 Lyrics and like it looked like Lyrics was almost hitting him in the head, but he kept getting shield hits. So when he was also using a spear, so he could really only thrust for the most part. So that was I would probably say that was a pretty rough counter for a like a spear user too, for being like a small character with a shield, and then him having to like get really close too. That was pretty rough. Oh yeah, and then Lyrics pulled out his bow, and he was actually more effective with the bow than he was with the spear.
God.
He's a good
But
shot.
yeah, no, I'm not saying he's bad with spear. I'm saying like against that build, it was more effective to use his bow than his spear.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what it seemed like.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Deferal, I can say his name properly. Yeah, he's been rocking that build for a while now, though. But I think it makes more sense for him to show off now, where the weak spots being buffed a bit.
Oh, did they get buffed? When?
So this patch is doing a lot more now. I don't know
Oh,
exactly what the buff has been, but I mean the patch notice is they're missing stuff every time.
so
Like
do different
ghost
materials
condition.
have like a higher chance to weak spot then, or
It's to do with
does
your decks, I think.
anyone know? No one. Sure.
I don't think the materials make a difference yet, from what I can tell. Because I
They
tried real hard to dick with weak spot when I made my first Vila character. I was going for like Vila Tribrid, and I could not get anything to consistently weak spot based on like material changes. It seemed to be all based on my decks and the clade
what clade? Alverns have a clade.
for a plus 5% weak spot chance.
Oh, okay.
Hmm
They
But
buffed
beyond that,
uncharged weak spot below 100% charge. Oh,
I don't think materials matter yet.
No.
At least not from my testing.
So with
yeah.
a Mercy Dagger, you should be able to get a lot more faster, but the damage is like crappy. But I tried with the Riser Blade, like I said, and that was hitting a lot. But then when it did get a weak spot, it was massive. So
Imagine when they get like poison for daggers, dude.
yeah,
Gonna be nasty, dude.
I would prefer the poison to be something that you have to like coat on the weapon, and once you stab a motherfucker with it, it's gone. You have to recode it, but the poison will linger for a
I
minute.
agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with Zachary on that.
Yeah.
Once you apply the poison, you've got 30 minutes or an hour or something like that to use the poison. If you don't use the poison, then it goes away.
Yeah,
agreed.
exactly. hmm And then you'd carry like vials of it with you.
But yeah, I think
We need
I
a
guess the
fucking
biggest
combined
balance thing
skill
is
back.
just the mountains. We really have to come to a sweet spot on balancing mountains 100%, because the
Like
game just
mounted
turns into
versus
mounted
foot.
online,
Mounted
and
versus
then
foot
it's not
is
fun.
really rough. But I think everybody, or most everybody, should have a little bit of mounted something mixed into their combat because it is a big game. It's a big world, and you're gonna need a horse to get around, and you're gonna get jumped by dudes with horses. It's gonna happen.
No, yeah, it
Every
will.
fight,
The
every
problem
fight
is that
starts off mounted. Period.
the map
Every
is
fight.
so big, right? So it's going to promote mounted because you've got to use a horse to get around, right? But the thing is I feel like they put so much work into the foot PvP and the foot combat. They put all that work into the parries, the parry counters, adding all that cool stuff.
hmm
And
And people are gonna get
mounted's so
dismounted.
half-assed in comparison with the foot, because I feel like the foot was supposed to be the primary focus of the game, was foot PvP.
It definitely doesn't feel as of a complete system for sure.
There just needs to be some way. Maybe when you shoot a horse in the head with an arrow, it slows it down for 10 seconds or something, so you're able to catch it and dismount the guy, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because
I
it was so
mean,
bad. You look at Kelly in the chat. He uninstalled the game. He was so tired of it.
Yeah, I heard about that.
weakness. That is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man.
He beat
Oh.
Mortal Online.
No, I mean mounted combat. Just watching someone try and swing like an axe at someone else, it just looks horrible. Looks janky. Looks undone. I mean,
Very
like I
true.
don't think anything with mounted combat is done. I don't think any weapon is done. Period.
I think across the board, it all needs a little work for sure.
I think MA is pretty much done. I think there should be more sway when you're on a mount than when you're on foot for sure. Like I think
I
that's
also
just
think
almost common sense, but
either that or fucking, you know how like when you try to charge a spell and turn the horse at the same time. Why
that's not
doesn't
a
that
thing.
why well you can't, right? It cancels the
Yeah, you
spell,
can't
right?
turn and cast. So yeah,
Why can I turn and shoot?
Yeah, trust
You
me,
gotta
I've been
steer
saying
the
that since
horse,
day
don't you?
one.
You
How do you
gotta
steer your horse if you're shooting with two hands on a bow?
Well,
I
I mean, you
suppose
could
use
use
your
your
legs or
knees or
something.
whatever, yeah,
So why can't I use my legs when
still.
I'm casting? It doesn't make any sense.
But I think that it would bring mounted archers into balance a little more because it is a little OP just to run away from a motherfucker.
I've
that's
heard some
shooting.
people even say that the mounted should only be used for travel, and we should focus on foot fighting. I know
No.
I don't know about that, but there's got to be some type of middle ground. I think we got to find.
Oh, look at a game like New World, right? They don't even have mounts in their fucking game. You know what I mean? And people say that the PvP and the combat is pretty good in most cases. Uh, but like there are games that just don't have mounts. Or if you wanted to go that route, just like take out the mounted builds. But I don't know. I would like to keep the mounted builds, and I just think they need to be uh finished really more than anything. Like mages and MO1, when you were casting, you could tell your horse to stop. You couldn't turn it with ecumenical spells and stuff like that, but you could tell your horse to stop moving, which would help in a lot of scenarios for mounted mages. I mean, you could do that with. You should be able to do that with anything too. Like you should be able to do it with MCA, but that was the thing. You could like hit R. I think someone said your horse would stop moving.
I mean, if we think it's bad now, wait till they add the bull horses and everything else.
Well,
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
the breeding.
Well, he said breeding's not going to be because breeding made taming obsolete completely.
Hmm.
True.
Uh,
So we're not gonna get that at all.
well, we'll get it. It's just not going to be like how it was, but whatever that fucking means.
Hmm.
Just like we're gonna have territory control, but we're not gonna have territory control towers, whatever that fucking means. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how you're gonna expand your territory without some type of territory control tower.
He said there's no territory control towers.
He said, I don't know if he's like explicitly promised they're not coming back, but he said like they did not work and he does not want them back. But he has not said at all how we expand territory.
I thought it
So,
was to do with the ruins around the keep.
no.
Hey, I'm just gonna keep my expectations low and be pleasantly surprised. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can call it something else, but you're gonna have to bring back some form of TC towers, like something that you build somewhere to expand your territory. It's gonna be the same fucking thing.
Oh, here's the other thing they need to fix is the animations on pole axes and spears and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
Dude, I don't know if that's ever
Just
getting
cleaned up
fixed.
a little bit. Just cleaned up a little bit. You know, I'm not asking for
Especially for
much
new
here.
players, it's hard. It's hard as
It's a
hell
little
to know the
ridiculous.
difference between the animations.
Yeah.
The right swing and the stab look exactly the same.
Or even just like canceling your animation over and over while you're fucking running all over the place and desyncing yourself out. Like the animations break down and they get extremely hard to read. And the entire 1v1 combat is based around that. And
Spinning.
that's fine. And that's fine with most weapons. Like I don't feel cheated when I fight a fucking a two-handed axe. I don't feel cheated when I fight the sword. I don't feel cheated when I fight the hammer. But against any of the pole arms, it always ends up, I don't know, man. It looks so fucked, and my P brain can't fucking read it. And I will eventually get better at it for sure, but it would be really nice to see it cleaned up just a little bit.
It's
Just a
almost like
little
a 50-50, isn't it? It's like, oh, is he doing
bit.
this
Yeah,
or that?
you guessing at some point, bro. Like it
Yeah, I
breaks
am.
the fuck out. The like desync breaks down, dude. Like I don't know what the
Yeah,
fuck
when I'm
happened.
fighting a pole axe, I'm guessing which way to block. Purely guessing
Yeah,
every
I
time.
mean, and there's a reason why those weapons are so goddamn prevalent. You
I
know
mean,
what
the
I mean?
foot combat in general is like just bad. If you ever watch, if you're like a new player coming into this game and you like walk out to dueling and you see two guys dueling, it's literally Beyblade fucking combat. Like they're just like spinning around in fucking circles, swinging. Like it looks horrible. It's not immersive. It doesn't look realistic. It's just bad, and it's really stupid when you're trying to play melee and you have to like spin to win. It's horrible. Like they need to
Yeah.
redo the whole fucking
You
thing.
look up in the air, you swing your poleaxe to the right, and then
Yeah,
you
it's
turn in with the
fucking
left
stupid.
swing, and then you feint it, and then you swing the other way, and you
I'm
hit
not the
somebody.
biggest fan of the Beyblade combat for sure, but I've played plenty of games similar. That it's not like that's not really my problem. It's just the similarity between the animations and the desync is what I have a
I
problem
guess
with.
the way to balance it would be to add more weight on the armor, like, or have the weight actually penalize you, right? So when you're trying to spin like that, you're moving much slower. Like you, do people do that in like Mordhau? When I noticed when I played it, like I was much slower in the plate versus everybody. I don't think
I
you could spin like that.
I was kind of involved from in Mordau when they moved from Unity to Unreal. I was there. I still got the Unity version, and so I know most of the guys, and I told them about the Mordau game, and they're like, no. They look at combat and they think, nope. But they wanted to stop exactly the ballerina moves, they used to call it in Chiv. They're all ex-Chiv players, like competition level, and they decided to make
Well,
their own game, which is Mordau.
well, we did
And
shit like that in Mounted Blade and fucking
yeah,
Glory Victus and all those other fucking games. So
so that's what they're trying to stop. And then you got a certain amount of spin that you can do. So you can't do a 360. You can't do an overhead that you hit somebody from the back, like you can do in Mordau, by the way. You can do an overhead and look up into the sky and have the enemy behind you, and you can still hit him.
it's like that in MO too, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. No, yeah, exactly. It's in MO like that.
Imagine being a new player and this guy comes to attack you and he's just spinning all over the place and you have no idea what direction he's swinging. The walkers don't do that, right? So they don't get the training they need.
No.
That's true, but you can only hold a new player's hand so far. At
No,
some
I
point,
agree.
he's
That's
gonna
true
have
too.
to just figure it out too, you know?
You know what I reckon they should do? Like the blocking, you shouldn't be able to block for ages. Like sorry about that. Like in Mordau, you got like a 1 second window that you can block something, and I think that's pretty good. And then feints would actually work in here, because if you feint, you're just wasting your stamina.
I
You
would
know what I
agree
mean?
with you if the latency wasn't such an issue.
With the what?
I would agree with you if latency wasn't such an issue.
Yeah, yeah. They need to work on that, I suppose. But like having feint
I'd like
actually making sense. Like I'm feinting you to block one way, so I can attack the other direction. Trying to trick you, kind of thing. And the only way to do that is spinning around like a ballerina, making you guess, like.
Well, I mean, like if we didn't have spinning, time to kill would be fucking ridiculous. So, like, it's really just some of the janky animations I'd like to see cleaned up.
Especially with some of those guys that just parry, 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 parry. You
Mhm.
never hit them.
Yeah, I'm personally not gonna
Some
complain.
guys are insane at it. It's crazy watching them do it.
Just practice, bro. You gotta keep doing it. Gotta keep doing it. Gotta keep throwing yourself out there.
Ever since I bought a new computer a couple days ago and started fainting, I've noticed a huge difference in my ability PvPing.
You got an upgrade, bro?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool.
My other computer was 8 years old. Same computer I played MO1 on. Everything. It was pretty janky. My frames.
10 FPS gaming.
Yep. Everybody. I was playing on a pretty toaster computer for a little bit.
My computer could barely run the first game back in the day. I had like
Yeah,
two
mine
weeks
too.
of
And then I
power
was running the
supplies.
second one on it,
Yeah,
and I
I
was
had like
okay
two power
in
supplies for 2 weeks.
Meduli,
Yeah.
but in Bhakti, no. They need to fix these node lines around Bhakti too. How about that?
Yeah, they really do. Yeah.
It lags
Bhakti's
like
there's
a
a
just the
motherfucker
alpha.
node
all
line
around
mess.
Bhakti.
Bhakti's a node
Yeah.
line mess.
I really don't know what's going on over there. I think it's like certain areas it's node lines, in other areas it's you loading the players at your view distance. You know what I mean? As you approach the town. I could be wrong, but I've noticed when it's dead and empty, I don't get those same issues. It's smooth. Just like, down below Bhakti when I'm going into the jungle, really at that node line. But the areas where it hitches and you don't lose your horse, like I really think that's just you loading in the area when it lags like that.
What do you guys think about like the map resource balance? Like for example, like Sabura in the west, pretty
I think
much.
that it's good.
I
You like it?
personally like it because, like, you got different areas of the map that are rich in different types of resources. You go down to the jungle, and there's all kinds of really strong natural materials that you can kill shit for, right? And then you go like up to the northeast, and there's all kinds of shit that you can mine for that's worth going up there for, right? And then you
I
go
agree
to
with
the
Zachary.
west coast at Meduli, and that's like you have these localized resources and
I
reasons to
remember when they
transport and
finally
trade.
moved the Sabura out of Morinkur, a bunch of guys were bitching about it. And I was like, you guys clearly didn't play the first game. Like,
There was Sabura and MK, and
Well, it makes things more tedious for them. Of course, they're going to be upset.
very little though. I used to bring Sabura across the map and sell it in MK and made so much money. I used to be able to sell a Sabura powder for 50 gold a stack, no joke.
And that's why it's good to have localized, resources around the map where you can only get it there, because it creates content, it creates, trades, it creates everything. You know, I
is there
like it.
anything you guys would change about the resource balance? I guess I should.
We just need more shit to kill.
Yeah, it would be nice to see like a full map with every creature, every resource, everything in all, and then test it from there. Because I don't know how Henrik is gonna do January or February whenever it's coming out.
Yeah, we're just waiting
It's
for the
not
game
going
to
to
catch
release
up.
in January. I don't think so. We'll
I
see.
hope not, because I don't think it needs a lot polishing.
It needs another year. I think it needs another year or two. Keep the beta the way it is, but hey, can we actually get a rework on the website and maybe make it easier for people to buy the game? It's so confusing.
Yeah.
You have to go on the old website and then donate, and people think it looks like a scam. I've had so many people be like, "You sure, bro? That doesn't look right. I don't know if I should buy that." They really need to fix that. What type
You
of company doesn't make it easier to buy their product? Actually, honestly.
Yeah, they're like only hurting themselves.
Well, that's kind of the idea. Like it'll be easier to buy when it goes on Steam.
Well, yeah, I
And this
will.
shit wipes.
But no, what
It's
I'm saying is right now,
closed beta right now, bro.
I just think we need. I think the beta should keep going. We should keep going with the beta, and I think we should have another year. I think that they should add the housing fully fleshed out on the beta. We should also have sieging fully fleshed out on the beta. Everything. That way,
I
we
think
get a
they've.
true to what the game will be like on release.
I don't disagree with you, but if they were to try to do that, they'd be out of their minds. They've been trying to rush the release because, for whatever reasons, I don't really know. I'm assuming they probably need the money. But like if you notice, they tried to launch it twice now, and they've pushed it back twice. So it's coming in January. I really don't think they're going to push it back again unless they absolutely have to because of some server bullshit.
We'll
That's
be
my
able to
personal opinion.
we'll be able to judge a bit more after this keep the next patch comes in, and if it's just a housing and no tables, no chairs and all the chests and everything else, then we got a problem, I reckon. If it's just houses and that's it on the patch, then it's like, wow, okay, what are you guys doing, kind of thing.
I think that it's just going to take them time to get all that shit done, dude. And we're
Yeah, it
impatient.
is. I don't think January 25th is gonna be. It's too soon. Need a little
It's
bit
going to be bare
longer.
bones.
This was supposed to be out December last year.
Mm-hmm. Everything we're supposed to be doing now is supposed to be permanent, right?
Yeah, that would
Because
be
think if they
crazy.
release too early, they're gonna have the same phenomenon New World just had, where they released it, not enough content, everybody quit.
Well, this game was like never going to be mainstream anyway. Let's be real here.
Yeah, that's
It's
true
an
too.
indie MMO, bro. This is an indie game.
Yeah, the other thing I think like a lot of people say like they're probably like running it. Like they're not really making as much as they would if they were live or with subs and stuff like that.
And
They're making like a fraction.
Isn't Henrik investing his own like wealth into the production? Like,
Yeah, but he has like 5 Tesla.
right, but still.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. Yeah, I mean he's paying like all of his employees' salaries and stuff, like just like game sales. Wow, look at that fucking assassin finally showing up, dude.
Fashionably.
Imagine that, dude.
No, I think that guy has a lot more than we think riding on the project, personally.
I hope so. I think so, but yeah, I just hope so.
It's a passion project, dude. This guy's life's work, bro. Like, it's gonna be good. It might not be amazing and up to like AAA standards, sure, but it's gonna be fucking fun as fuck, dude. I'm not gonna miss it.
No, I definitely agree with that.
Right, we're gonna get one of those like death simulation streams again, where you just like go to GK and like die 200 times, but you coming back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That shit was so funny to watch. I like watching your stream, but you were just like fighting Red or somebody, and you were just laughing every time you died, and like you would get away from the priest, and then that was like a win for you. And then like I just like closed down the stream. I came back like 2 hours later, no joke, literally doing the exact same shit like as he was like 2 hours before. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like you can't bring this man down. Like he's just gonna keep coming.
Yeah, with
That's
it.
fucking crazy.
With enough substances at your side, you can just really have a good laugh at this shit. It's fun to me. That's what makes Mortal Online so much fun is the fact that you can die anywhere at any time, and you can lose everything. And I think there's a point where new players are going to have to accept that and then realize that the loss is
Thank you.
that's
Couldn't agree more.
just play it. It happens. You're going to die. So
Yeah, I mean, when launch comes, like way more than New World, we're gonna see like a dip in like player activity for sure. Like New World dropped from like 900k to like 500k after like a week or two or some shit. We're gonna see like a much bigger loss. It's not necessarily because the game's bad. It's because of how the game is played. Like just because it's like a hardcore MMO full loot, New World doesn't have full loot in any capacity. So we're gonna see like huge number of losses. And again, people will say it's for different reasons, but let's be honest, it's just gonna be like people getting mad that they died and lost their shit.
No,
Yeah,
did you
for
guys
sure.
remember when they released the game on Steam and MO1? I mean, there was massive negative reviews on the first week. Massive. I mean, everybody was spamming negative reviews. It's all noobs who played the game for 10, 15 minutes, died, and then said, "This game is terrible. The worst game I've ever played in my life."
A lot of that was
Trash.
server issues too, though,
That
bro.
too.
Like
That too. There was server issues.
you couldn't play the game, dude. Like, let's be real
Well,
here.
server. I mean, I wasn't there, but I heard about it many times, of course. But server issues aside, assuming the servers ran great, that was like a recipe for disaster. Because that was like in what 2014, 2015, right? The Steam launch.
Oh, they were
So
not ready.
So the game was already out for 4 years. So this is like 4 years of people stacking bank, getting loot. Kind of
Yeah.
like in beta now when like they had the last stress test and they didn't wipe. Like, what are these vets gonna do? They're done farming.
You
They
wanna know what
have
else
like
they
10
did?
sets ready. They're gonna go kill
They
fucking noobs.
changed, and this is one thing that I
So
can't give them enough flack for. They changed the starting city from Tindrum to Morinkur on Steam release. What were they thinking?
oh, did they?
Tindrum,
I never
yes,
heard that.
they
Oh, okay.
forced new players to spawn in Morinkur, a town owned by RPK. And then not only that, but the graveyard of Morinkur is down in the bottom of that canyon. There's no guards down there. You can't. I would probably argue that the Morinkur graveyard is probably the farthest away from the guards of all the other graveyards. Actually, wouldn't you think? I think in MO1 because you had to run all the way down the mountain to
Well,
get
there's
to the
yeah.
graveyard, and there were no guards down there until a month later when enough noobs died and wrote enough negative reviews that they finally put a lictor down there after a month. But by then it was too little too late. Everybody had already quit.
I never heard that before. I
That
didn't know
was
they
their
moved it to
fault.
MK.
And I remember I went down there and I just saw RPK priest camping them, dude. I mean, these
But
noobs
the
were getting
biggest thing is
priest
first
camped.
impressions. Like, if your first impressions of a game are negative within the first like hour of playing, the chances of you relaunching that game and not just uninstalling it are high or low. First impressions mean everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Mortal Online, and it wasn't until I had somebody, come up and say, "Hey, man, I could totally help you out," that I kept playing, because I thought the game was just Tindrum when I started, and somebody took me down to a little town called Bhakti, and I started from there, and I actually got to enjoy the game, and I was really, really, really amazed that the game was so big, It,
Bhakti was my first real home too.
yeah, Bhakti. Everybody says it's trash town. I love Bhakti. It's my favorite town in the game.
And
Yeah,
Doom would come all the way from like
Yeah,
Viburnum
and they
area,
would come
and
every
we'd
day.
all battle on PvP Mountain.
Every day at PvP Hill, they would
Times.
fight us. Every day, we'd come out and fight them. It was so much fun.
I played
I
it
Yeah.
remember that.
as a solo for a while in Meduli, and then Bhakti. I don't know. I think it's always had pretty good community because like as soon as I went to Bhakti, I ended up joining like my first two.
Bhakti's always been a town of nice people. I think, Careberry people. Um, you know, much nicer than Meduli's community. Meduli's always been a town of outlaws and assholes and everything like that.
My first guild was Rotten. That was
Yeah,
fun.
I
Yeah.
agree with Darius PvP there. Bhakti is the best place for new players. I will always recommend that new players come there. Even with us miscreants there, it's still safer than every other town.
I think SV can do something about that. One idea I've been throwing around in like the rooms that I've been talking in is in the tutorial. Like there are a lot of games that have like the tutorial time. Like, you kind of like learn the game, you figure out different things, but at the end it says, "Hey, you can either make a guild or join a guild or, whatever they call a guild at that time."
But I'm
And
looking
I
at
think that would really point players in the right direction to where vets can help them out, kind of like they do in Bhakti. I think it
Or
would
guild
really
board.
help with a new player experience. Yeah, a guild board's
Like-
good.
yeah, a
But I
guild board
think
would be good.
giving them like a quest or something like a marker that stays on your screen that says, "Hey, either join a guild or make a guild or get in contact with the community," would improve the new player experience a lot.
Honestly though, like new players trying to make their own guild without any prior game knowledge is probably a bad idea too. You'd want to join up with somebody and learn some shit and then strike out on your own.
Well, yeah,
Oh.
of course, but you want to give them the options. But a new player, 5 gold is like 100 gold to what we
Yeah, it
see
is.
essentially. So they're not going to say, "Okay, well, 200 gold. Let me try and grind that out." No, they're going to be like, "Okay, who are the established guilds? Let me reach out to them, get a feel, understand the game a little bit more." Yeah, they have the options, but honestly, most new players are just going to try to join something, and that's where you direct them to that guild board.
Let me
I see what
respond to
you're
this
saying.
guy here. He says Bhakti's way worse than Meduli with all the griefers. Right now, it is, but in general, Bhakti doesn't have all these griefers there. We're just there because the PvP is there, the content is there right now. But once it kind of dies down, Jasper, Miscreants, we'll be somewhere else. We'll be having fun somewhere else, and Bhakti will be once again a good place for new players. Right now, it's a little bit dangerous, but that's just Bhakti's just popping right
I
now.
would take advantage of them being there and practice. Go out and
Exactly.
fucking fight
Zachary's
them.
right too. But also, I wanted to say to Carol, at the
Carol.
time on MO1, when they first released it on Steam, you did not have the option to spawn in Tindrum and Morncur. It wasn't until the next patch where they added the Lictor down in the graveyard that they changed it to give you the option for either one. There was a forced Morncur spawn for the new players on Steam release.
Well, I was thinking about that too. I don't know why they have the graveyard even at the bottom of the scaffolding. If you go across that big bridge where the Crusher Grinder is, there's so
There's
much
plenty of
space to put
yeah,
a
when they
graveyard
put the
there.
graveyard over there, they should have, yeah.
Like I was thinking about what you said. Like Morncur definitely has like the furthest graveyard. Like Tendrum, I think is like second because there's no guards near the Tendrum graveyard. Like
Yeah,
even
in
at
MO2
all.
or MO1?
MO2.
Yeah, there were guards. In MO1, there were some guards, but there was a way to you could come out of the graveyard for like a little bit before you got swamped on by lictors.
I miss Tindrum's old layout.
It was big though, eh?
Well,
Yeah,
but
true.
Tendrum's not done though.
Very
You
true.
got into Tindrum on day one? That's interesting. I remember it being forced. I remember when I came in and tried to spawn, it didn't let me spawn anywhere but Morncur, and a bunch of people were telling me that they couldn't spawn in Tindrum.
Yeah,
Well, the whole-
Fabrinum, every stress test is like the biggest griefer town. One, you have the Red Priest right outside across the bridge, and then two, you have Cran like 10 minutes away. You could literally walk to. So Fab will always kind of be like the griefer town when there's pop.
Yeah, I think that is what it is, Carol. I think if you had had a character previously created, you could choose between the two. But if you had a fresh account, fresh character, you were forced.
I remember back in 2012 making my first character. It shit me out in Viburnum. I don't know if it was something I selected, but that's where I fucking started. And there was like some kind of a bullshit tutorial. Not really, but I
Tindrum's a
think that all
great
got
place for
moved
new
to
players to
Tindrum.
start too. Tindrum's a great place for them to start too. I think. I think Tindrum's a
Not
good
anymore.
place.
Not anymore.
In MO1 it was, I think. That was what I mean.
Well, you had the gardens later after Steam release.
They had the gardens. They were kind of safer. Tindrum was probably your best bet. Morinkur, that was rough. I don't know what they were thinking with that.
Yeah, I only seriously played on Steam release too.
And you remember there was a red
Stick
priest
around a
right
little
next
bit
to the
before that.
graveyard too, so these new players were going right to the priest, spawning, and then getting killed and just pre-scan.
Do you guys think it's like the best noob friendly town right now that we have with what we have?
It'd be Bhakti generally, but Bhakti's kind of rough right now with all the people there. But if you took Bhakti like a month or two ago, it was probably definitely the best. Like during the stress test, I think
But
Bhakti
is
was
Bhakti the best though? Because like the nearest horses is like
That is rough. That is the one
hard to
thing. The
get
nearest
to.
horses are a little bit too far. I think they need to add more horse spawns. Definitely, shouldn't have to walk
No.
30 minutes to find a horse.
No, there's shitloads of horse spawns all over the map. Like some of them could be spread out a little better, for sure.
No, we were talking about specific to Bhakti.
Oh, okay, I got you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was asking because he said Bhakti is like the best noob friendly town right now, and I just said, well, the closest horse spawn to Bhakti is kind of far and kind of weird
Yeah,
to
it's
get
like
to.
it's like Nest. I can't say his name there. It said PvPers go where the people are. That's what that is. What we do. That's where I go. I go wherever the people are.
Is it Nesquik? I don't know.
Nesquik.
I'm just gonna go Nesquik.
And that's the other reason right there. What he just said. Lack of mounted combat. That's why we're there, because you can actually get into proper fights in the woods and stuff, and like have good foot fights.
I don't think it's really anti-mounted.
It isn't. It isn't.
just
But for some
happen
reason,
not say mounted.
most people are on foot there, and it's nice.
Yeah.
Whereas Meduli, you're just gonna get zerged by mounteds every time. They never fight on foot, and it's sad because foot's so much more fun. And you know, I'd
We
much
have to
rather
force
fight.
a foot fight. Like the mounted fight becomes a foot fight. That's the point.
Yeah.
Like
But there's no way.
most fights out in the wild are gonna start mounted. And like it or not, if you want to be viable, you have to build a little bit of mounted combat into your shit. At least enough to shoot the horse.
You really do, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Mounted combat.
Well, like magery or something. You need some
Well, I
some
mean,
way
yeah,
to
you could use
attack
like foot
from
bows. Is what I'm
horseback.
saying.
You could, yeah, you could, but like you said, now you're at that health disadvantage. Like ideally every fight's gonna start mounted, and
I
then
think
it's
the
gonna turn
majority of players
into a foot fight as people get
want foot
dismounted.
fighting. I think the majority of PvPers want to play foot PvP. I think the majority of players enjoy foot PvP much more than mounted PvP, and that's why everybody's in Bhakti right now.
I think, and I don't mean like in any like way like it's an insult because I have a mounted build, but I think people generally play mounted builds because it's generally safer to play that way.
And easier.
Yeah,
I play that way because the horse can carry a lot more than I can.
right. It's
There's
easier.
nothing wrong with playing that way. I'll play that way
And
too.
the map is huge, and I got to get from point A to
Mm-hmm.
point B and defend myself while I'm doing it, and the horse allows me to do that.
The map's too big and the cities are too small.
You just got to think a little more objectively when it comes to your build. Like, what do you actually want out of it? What kind of experience do you want out of it?
The banks can barely hold 10 players.
If you don't work
Yeah.
any mounted into your build, then like you're not going to keep up with the group because you're not going to have like, you know what I mean, controlled riding and swift riding and shit. Like it's a big world, and you've got to account for that. And because of that, mounts are always going to be prevalent. Hate to burst your bubble, but they're always going to be strong. And I don't like playing mounted. I don't enjoy it, but I understand how the game works.
You're right.
I love playing mounted, but I think that was the vision Henrik had, was providing enough tools that people could play with different play styles.
What I love about
Mhm.
Mortal is that it's got something for everybody. However you want to play the game, it really does have something for everybody. You can play the game and not even PvP at all and just tame horses all day. I met plenty of people that do that, and they have a
Very true.
blast.
Yeah, stop selling your horse. It was like 50 gold if it's a level 50 step horse. But I'm buying that shit.
Yeah, I know. Can we get the horse prices fixed, please? People are charging way too much in Bhakti for horses. It's ridiculous.
Like people at Morincur, nobody even fucking plays in Morincur. Someone's selling like a desert horse, like a level 10 for like 100 gold. I'm like, I'm buying
Yeah,
it.
it's like I'm not paying 50 gold for a horse. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go and get my own. Thanks.
What about
I'll
like
pay-
the 9999 gold pickaxes?
I'll pay 10 gold for a horse max. It's the most I'll pay.
No, it takes time to go out there and get them bitches.
Unless
Like, I
it's
don't
a
mind slinging a
125.
little
It's a
money for a
125
horse.
desert. I'll give you 50 gold.
It's worth a little more than that, really, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing actually. We've been finding people in the wild and then, getting them to mercy the horse, but don't kill anything and just get
But
them to
I'm poor,
properly.
man, because I don't
That's what
farm.
we've been trying to do too.
And then get the horse. If the horse is better than yours, you take the horse as well.
Wait, you make them abandon their horse?
Yeah, or just transfer to it.
Horse trading.
Yeah, pretty much. I think we got one of the integrity guys yesterday, and there was an exchange of armor or something. The horse died though. Yeah, very interesting.
Oh, I like that chest piece you're wearing, boy. Let me go home and fit it on
I
me.
hope the PvP moves to Fab soon, though. I really do, because Fab's fun too. I like the Fab PvP.
I like
Yeah,
that
the bridge
the
fights,
gates
man.
are. I like that the gates are walled and it's harder to drag the guards out.
Yeah, the Fab PvP
Well,
is nice.
Careful in that northeast wall. That lictor will teleport right through that bitch. You don't give
Oh
a
yeah,
fuck.
that's true. Yeah,
I remember
forgot about
dying
that.
to it in one of my videos. Like I was kiting some MA, going around on the outside of the wall, on the northeast side, and then the lictor just teleport out, one shot my
You
horse.
guys aren't gonna believe this, but yesterday, you know who I caught griefing was Whirl.
Okay.
I
Can you
don't
believe
believe you.
that?
Hey, it's from
Who-
high. Well, what do you count as griefing though?
Well, he was. I mean, they were all trying to grief us, but I thought it was funny because Whirl killed a horse, and then he walked up to us in the bank yesterday, and he goes, "You know what,
Wait.
guys? That was
Hang
so
on a
much
second
fun."
here. Is this a griefer complaining about being griefed?
No, no, I'm not complaining. No, I'm
Bruh.
saying I think it was funny to see Whirl do it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not complaining. I don't care what they do. No, I'm not complaining in any way. I'm saying it was funny because Whirl walked up and said, "That was so much fun. Now I see why you guys do this."
Yeah, but is it murder if you shoot someone who's killing people?
No,
I don't
I
care.
mean,
no, you
I just
mistook
thought
what
that
I'm
was funny.
saying. What I'm
No,
saying is,
I get what you're
because
saying.
I've
It
never
was just
seen.
funny.
I
Just
played
funny, I guess.
ML1 a long time, and I
mean-
never saw Whirl do anything like that.
technically, yes, it's still murder. It's just justified.
Anyway, I would happily pay Miscreants like 20 gold to clear the bank for me sometimes. Like especially in Fab, man. Although we got 2 banks now, but
We do it. We'll clear it.
I know you did. I think Retrospect is a pretty cool guy actually.
Yeah, he is.
So yeah, he used to play Eve. That's how I got to know him. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
I
we
was
got
always a bit
on.
of
Sorry, go ahead.
I was always a bit of an Eve noob.
Yeah, I still do, man. I sold a bunch of stuff I had the other day because it's just collecting dust for a year, like a fortress and stuff. Anyway,
No, I don't know if you heard him, Carol. He did say that at the end when he logged out, but he did say that he enjoyed it when he walked up to me at the bank, and I thought it was nice of him to say. Respectable stuff.
I like him because I tried to give him armor one time when I was new. Like I was just figured out armor crafting, and got the mercenary plate book, and I had an extra set on me and tried to hand it to him. And he closes the trade and says, "I'm a piece of shit. Don't help me," and walks away, and then fucking keels over dead. And since then, I've liked the guy.
But we've got people saying that, oh, like, griefers should be banned. That's ridiculous.
I think that's
Yeah, I don't.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think the devs should step in on anything that happens in game as long as you're leaving people's real life alone and shit like that. You know, you're not making direct insults. Who gives a fuck?
I mean, look at all the bugs we've got fixed that would have been very bad on release. You could
Exactly.
shoot
Look at
arrows
CC.
through walls. We did that, and then guess what? They patched it. Nobody knew about that.
Look at CCP's approach to Eve Online, and
I-
their how they moderate that game. I would like to see something similar to that in Mortal.
Hello,
I say that all the time. I say that not just EVE Online, but Henrik and the boys, the dev team, they should look at games that been out a while and how they deal with their own versions of war decking and stuff like that. Like EVE Online is a perfect game. It's going to be 20 years soon, like in 2 years time or so. And they've been through balancing for years and adding stuff and updating stuff and balancing again. And they should look at it and like, well, you know what, that could work for if we change this and that, it could work for Mortal Online, stuff like that.
Well, this is RFive. Let me go ahead and jump in here real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this podcast. It was fun to do this, guys, with you, but I got to get some other stuff done now. I had a great time. Also, I just want to say I agree with a lot of the points we brought up. And it's still, I think, when it comes to the combat, as we mentioned earlier, between mounted and foot fighting, I think it's just a matter of perspective. What you do good with, what you do good with. But besides that, thank you guys once again. I'm gonna hop out.
Later.
have a
Thank
good
you for
one.
coming.
All right,
Later,
thank you,
R5. Tell
Hi.
Donsky I said hey.
I will.
Nice meeting you, man.
Well, I guess. Does anyone have anything they want to talk about first of all, or topics?
Don't
I
talk
got
about
nothing
anything,
at the
man.
moment.
Okay. So we could talk about double stacking horse armor.
I got a story for that actually.
Yeah, go ahead. Just hit it up.
Yeah, I don't remember who the fuck it was, but I was running around with Omerta, and this motherfucker comes up with the double stacked armor and starts, we're not doing shit to him at all. And Siegfried immediately opens the ticket with a GM, and then GM popped in out of nowhere, like lickety split, and handled the situation. So I mean, when it comes to bugs like that, I believe that like as long as you're due diligent and you report that shit, it'll get handled.
They don't care though.
Yeah.
No,
Wait.
they
When
do.
was this?
They do care. It wasn't long ago at all.
I
Like
just
a month
saw
ago.
I saw a PM from Discord saying it's not against the rules to use double horse armor.
Really, because I do remember the GM popping in and being like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
I feel like they're
And
inconsistent, guys. That's what I think. Sometimes is some GMs think the rules one way, some think it's a different way. But I
know.
saw a PM from Discord. He literally responded and said it's not against the rules to double stack.
Well, each of them might have a different opinion or how it was done before, and it takes them like some time.
I'm surprised they haven't patched it out. I mean, how hard could it be to patch that out?
Henrik said in the last stream it could be patched out. It'll take some hours, but because they're working on other things, it didn't. It didn't seem like something high on the priority list to do. I think that's what he said on the last streams. Like it could be fixed, but because they're on like a schedule to get this done and housing and everything that takes a lot of attention, it could be patched out, but that would take away from something else.
It's not so much like, that like people are like, oh, I lost like this like material or I lost this armor set because of this. It's more like I think people are scared that it's like setting a precedence for like how stuff will be handled in Alive, where everything will matter more, obviously. So that, along with like them not mentioning shit in the patch notes, like every single patch almost. Oh, it's not gonna happen at Live, guys. It's like, well, it keeps fucking happening now. So what is leading me to believe that this isn't gonna happen at Live? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, personally, I think documenting the progress that they're making at the speed that they're making it is important. And I know it's going to take time out of their day to do that, but it's going to show us that they're actually fucking working on the game. So leaving stuff out of the patch notes really just kind of hurts themselves more than anything else.
I spoke to Farmer Joe, and I got him to say, yeah, I think he wrote the patch notes, and he said, yeah, I kind of left a few things out, and I'm like, oh man, why? Because you read the patch notes, you think, okay, I'm
Well,
gonna
he's
look at
overworked,
everything.
bro. He's got too much shit on his plate, and that's the problem.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I don't know how they work, but I'm a developer. I do backend APIs and stuff, and whenever we do a new build for a software, we can check the the semantic version, the versioning, and it gives you a list of everything that's being updated into that on that version. You see, so just a copy and paste, man. That's how they need to do it. But obviously, I don't know how they work.
Yeah, how big is your team?
Oh, my team. Well, the team I'm on is like a 5 people, but yeah, I don't know how big are they? 20? I don't know.
Yeah, they're not very big. So like a lot of the workloads, either they're doing multiple things at once or they're doing probably one aspect, one like a team of five. Like they have a huge load probably per person, and then
Mhm.
probably everything runs through Farmer Joe, being the lead on that.
Yeah, yeah.
There's something also I was going to bring up. Halsey wanted me to bring it up when I talked to him the other day. Uh, he wanted me to bring up that what is something that you guys like about the game? What is something Mortal did right? You know, we sit here and complain about all the broken things and what we don't like about the game, but what is something that you love about the game? What do
That's
you
very
think
I
true,
think
makes
man.
the game amazing?
It's
its
easy to point
potential.
faults in it, man, but it takes a lot more to point something that is wrong and how to deal with it, I suppose.
What are they doing right?
I think that the unique factor that it has, yes, it does follow Ultima Online a little bit and a couple other things, but the fact that they have a vision that they won't really compromise on, like they do listen to the community, they do make some changes and try to tweak things to where it feels good. But the fact that they have that undying vision of, hey, this is what we want and we're not going to compromise on it, I can respect that because most other companies don't do
And that's
that
why I
enough.
respect Henrik. I was saying the other day that one time a couple years back, maybe 5 years ago, I talked to Henrik on TeamSpeak or something. And I talked to him about, I asked him, you know, have you gotten offers from other companies to buy this game? You know, what's been your take on that? And he told me that he had multiple offers from multiple big companies offering to buy Mortal to try and turn it into, some type of WoW type of game or something. And totally, he like totally didn't like that, what they were trying to do with the game, and he wanted to stay true to his vision, and he didn't sell out for the money, and I respect him for that.
I like the player-driven economy.
Me too. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing I'd like to say based on what Flamebearer had said is basically he's completely right because if you look at other games that have catered towards like what the majority of the community wanted, it's ruined it. Like Gloria Victis, for example, is a really good example of a development company that started building a game based on their own vision and then started turning towards its community too hard for suggestions on where to go from where to go from where it was currently at the time. And now the game's fucking dead, dude. Nobody wants to play it because everybody got what they fucking wanted, and now it's easy as piss and boring as fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
In
it's
my
a
opinion,
fine
Henrik kept the
balance.
game hardcore. He didn't.
Mm-hmm.
He never changed it. Like he really kept it true to his vision. MO1 and MO2 are so similar. I've found, and that's what I love about it. I logged in MO2, and the learning curve wasn't too bad for me. Having played
Well,
MO1 for so long, it's all the same.
I'm just saying it is dangerous to listen to your community too much when you're developing a game because they will always cry and towards what they want that's going to benefit them. And fuck, I forgot where I was going with that, but you get the
I'm
gist
really
of it.
happy they never added quests. Very happy with that. I hate quests in MMOs. I hate it. It's so pointless.
It's
Mm.
ridiculous. Yeah.
I'm not
It's
gonna
just
do it.
tedium.
I'm not gonna
It's a
do it.
grind barrier. And I don't like grind barriers other than
I
like I
love
want to
that
get the shit
Mortal.
I need to go fight with.
The only quests should have is player quests. Like, for
Mm-hmm.
example, the other day I needed a stack of Incisium and Malaria and a few other things in Bacti so we could fight, make armors, weapons, and get on with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, get a trader to come and bring me some. That's a quest. I created that quest kind of thing. I needed that.
You
Somebody
created the quest yourself. I mean, yeah,
pretty
MO1
much.
had quests free, but like you know what I'm saying? I'm saying forced questing there where there's a barrier to content until you finish all the quests and level up to level 60, and then you can suddenly PvP, and then you can suddenly do the PvE content, the dungeons you want to do. It's just stupid, man. I hate
I
that
agree.
stuff.
That's what I'm
It's so
saying. I totally
boring.
agree with you, but when you got players actually not demanding, but like asking for stuff, and that's like a quest, isn't it?
I've
Really?
seen some players ask, "Why are there no questing? We need levels in questing." I've seen people say that,
Well,
and
quests are good if they're done right. You know, for example, it's not you walk up to an NPC and he tells you where to go, like go kill 10 white tigers or something, you know what I mean? It's more like okay, killed this thing and it dropped a key. Now where does this fucking key go? and there's a marking on the key, and there's this doorway in this dungeon somewhere that has a similar marking.
Yeah, that's
So you
cool.
take the
That'd
key
be
to this
fine.
dungeon and you go in, and then you unlock the door, and maybe there's some like hidden loot or a hidden boss or some bullshit in there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
those
man.
kinds of quests.
Why do
Where
we
it's
have a
a
white
And
bear?
fun
We,
stuff
puzzle
like the,
we
game.
and
don't have
stuff
a
like
white
these
tiger.
vouchers. Yeah, like Dave said, something like these parcels that they've added. Like that's cool. I'm fine with that. But no forced questing where you have to do it to get XP and level up. I'm so happy that Mortal doesn't have that. That's something that keeps
Agreed.
me playing. And I'll say this, no other game could ever keep me playing 12 hours straight like Mortal does. I can play this
Mm-hmm.
game all day and it doesn't phase me at all. But any other game, you get bored after an hour or two, right?
It's like a pseudo world to go fucking live in. You know,
It
it's like
really
a
is. Mortal really
medieval
is.
fantasy fucking Second Life almost.
They did what
You know
Elder
what I
Scrolls
mean?
Online should have done.
Yes, yes, they did. Yes, because it
Yeah,
feels like an Elder Scrolls game, but hardcore and online with your friends, bro. Like it's
Yeah.
fucking dope.
They Elder Scrolls Online did, they chose the WoW clone route.
That game was garbage, dude. I fucking
It's bad. In my opinion, as far
disappointing.
as the WoW clones go, I think it's one of the better ones, but it's not it's not what it should have been. I thought it was going to be like I could load up my Khajiit caravan and like move my goods up to like Morrowind and sell them or something. Like I thought it was going to be some cool, interesting stuff like that.
Yeah, and I thought I'd be ambushing you along the way. You
Exactly,
know what I
but
mean?
no, I didn't do that.
Yeah, there's
Me and my
something to be
little
said about making an experience that you feel it naturally. Like there's no real direction. I remember playing Dark Souls 1 for the first time and then going to the catacombs and then accidentally ending up in like the Dragon Valley where I was just okay, I don't go this way before I went up towards the bells first because I was trying to find
And
a
I love
bell.
how Mortal
Like
doesn't have a
which way
map.
do I
yeah.
exactly. There's something about that experience that's just so different from what today the devs like hold your hand and tell you, oh, you can't come here, almost like a metro style when it's not really metro. I don't really like that. I like the freedom to be able to like an actual sandbox open world that let me do whatever I want. Essentially,
Do
give me
whatever
that
you
freedom.
want. Log into Mortal. You want to kill
Mm-hmm.
horses all
Mm-hmm.
day? Do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it, guys.
I mean, I'll ask you nicely not to, but
All you got to do is pay the tax.
No, the horse insurance. You don't even know what it is. Insurance, man. You're helping them.
Yeah, get insurance.
Lives matter, dude.
But
And then
what
the
I
gods would
like,
have the freedom to try and go through that with might or skill, one of the two.
what I like about this game is a bit like Eve. You want content, you go and make a content.
yeah, it's not gonna.
There's no NPC waiting for you to. Oh, there's something going on here. It's,
Miscreants are kind of bandit role players in a way. Show up at a town, extort it.
yeah, exactly. Move on, go
It's
to the
all
next.
content.
What game can you do that in?
Yeah, it's all content. Like I don't particularly like the horse killing myself because it's fucking annoying as shit. But other than that, you know, it's all content. It's something for me to like consciously avoid when I'm in town. I make sure that I bring my horse inside with me. I hide it in buildings. I try to do my best to keep my shit safe. If it's real dangerous, I'll just stable that bitch. It's really not that big of a deal. I don't understand why people are so like, you guys are so terrible. Just hide your horse, bro.
Can we
Because they,
get, also,
It ain't
can they
that.
fix
yeah.
the gray thing? You lose rep every time you're gray if a guard just sees you. That's so stupid. I totally
I like it.
understand maybe adding rep loss on a horse kill in town. I totally get that. But just the guard seeing you losing rep is kind of stupid. Like you'll be outside the town, not even in the town, and the guard sees you and you lose rep.
Well,
It's
I
just
think they
stupid.
added that for two reasons. One, the horse killing, and then two, like mage banging people at the bank and then logging off to like avoid MC, like another
And
to cause
I
that.
personally, I'm personally not. I don't mind it because I just think that the guards should be fightable, and I think that consequences should be heavy, but like,
And
and
they
I think
need
the
to
guards should
nerf
be
litter.
strong and reactive. You know what I mean? Like they should definitely be strong and reactive. But like I do think like a group of 10, 15, 20 dudes and like some decent equipment should be able to go and like at least fight a few of them. Maybe not a whole city's worth of guards, but like, you know, on the edge of town, you accidentally pull a couple guards, so you know, you focus that guard down. And then the player's got a chance to fight with the guards to try and take you down, even though otherwise his odds would be kind of shitty, right? You know?
Well, I
Well,
like
there
that
has to
already.
be there's something to be said about that because when it
Attacking a
comes to
town
like
should be
game
viable.
logic, right? Yeah, but how can I say this? If you want to play a red playstyle and you want to actually commit to it, right? It shouldn't be easy. Just like everyone says, you shouldn't be able to get on a horse, and it should be easy. It's the same thing with this kind of playstyle. If you want to play the red bandit playstyle, it makes sense that it's kind of like GTA. If you commit a crime and someone sees it, you get a star. If a guard sees you doing a criminal action, you shouldn't walk right by him. It's like, oh yeah, that guy's cool.
Yeah,
He has a good
100%.
reputation around town. If you want to play red and you want to go into the lawful cities and do lawless things, you should also get a consequence for that. I don't like the gameplay of, well, I should be able to do this for free because it's fun. You should be able to do it, but there should be something that you have to either avoid or it causes you to go towards the red place.
But it discourages PvP though.
I don't think it discourages PvP. It encourages smart PvP.
I don't think
Because
towns are designed for PvP.
Yeah, they're not designed for PvP. Like, you don't see chaos reigning in like any town, whether it's in games or in
Well,
real
they're
life.
gonna have
It's-
to. I think that they have to design the towns for PvP, especially right now. I mean, there's no other place for players to be.
You gotta go
That's
out into
gonna
the world,
change
bro.
in like a week and a half.
Yeah,
it's
go out
gonna
into the
change
world.
a lot.
The reason why you're not getting any content is because everybody's just sitting in town. Go out into the fucking world, dude.
Why do
Yeah,
I
I
get a
wanna
murder
see
count for
little-
killing somebody at bandits?
Go gather some shit just to gather
Yeah,
some shit.
the
Maybe you'll get a
wilderness
fight
should be
along the way.
lawless.
The
Outside
wilderness
of
should be
like,
lawless. I
yeah.
think that is stupid. I killed a guy at bandits the other day, way away from the town. We're at bandit camp. I jump him, kill him, and then I get a murder count. That's stupid. I killed him in the
it
woods.
I get what you're saying on that. I could see that, but the fact that they go back and have to report it to a priest, I guess like that's an option where they can or can't. It's not automatic. That's the player's choice. He's like, okay, well, you killed me. I'm here. I can report it. There are different ideas being thrown around of, hey, someone else should be able to report it, and I can see that too as well. But there's also ways to kind of exploit that as well. I think it's fine that you get one rep loss for one, murder count. That's
Yeah, I
not
totally agree with
unfair.
that too. No, I don't think that's unfair. But I'm saying I think that there should be a range of, maybe around the city, you kill somebody, you get a murder count. But if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you kill somebody,
Yeah.
fair game.
If you kill somebody in the sausage
then
lake,
no one would ever be red. You take out the whole bandit. Like, I want to see bandit towns or bandit little like shacks all over the place. Like, I don't want them to be
Oh, I'm
sitting
sure
in
there will
another
be.
town or sitting in a lawful town, being able to stay there and have high rep for a long time. That doesn't make any sense. Like, the red players should not be living in the blue cities, and that will make the world feel more full. It will feel more like, hey, I can get those engagements outside of town, because red players can't live in blue towns. Half of the reason the community is having problems, or like the red community, I guess, per se, is saying that, oh, well, everyone just sits in town. I was like, yeah, because miscreants are sitting in town, but that's definitely not a blue guild, but they're allowed to, rep wise, stay in a blue town, and the world feels empty. It feels like, they should be out of town, roaming, getting resources, trying to live outside of cities so that, you can run into them. But if we don't have systems that push them out of town, then of course you're going to say there's no PvP anywhere.
And I'm
I
sure once
agree.
they add the housing, you're right. There will be more PvP outside of the towns. I personally don't have a problem with town PvP. I think it's fun. I've been doing it for years. Even in MO1, I was always PvPing at
Well, we have
towns. I
war
loved
decks
when
for
people
that.
would
The
show up.
problem is you're trying to get PvP from players that don't want to fight you back.
And I don't understand that, man. Why don't they want to fight? It's a beta. It doesn't matter. You lose your stuff. Doesn't matter at all.
I don't
You
disagree
understand
with
that.
you,
You
but
walked
I
outside town
don't
5
disagree
times
with
in a
you, but
row.
it is what it is. You know what I mean? Not everybody wants to fight.
Well, didn't
I
you just say
recommend
earlier,
fighting.
Skylander, that like you could play this game and all you do is tame horses? Like, there's already
You could.
people
You
that
could.
do
There are.
that.
That is true too. I mean, I will admit that that is true. I guess I'm misconstruing what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is I just wish that more people would come out and fight. Because
Well,
And when
especially
we-
guilds like, you've got guilds like Draco that sit in Bhakti, and there's 15 of
Like,
them. They could easily come out and
beyond
fight us.
Like
beyond
Legion,
killing noobs
fucking
in the
guards on
graveyard and
huggers.
shit, though.
Kidding.
Hang on.
Legion doesn't. They'll
Before-
come out and fight.
I'm just-
Beyond just sitting in the graveyard killing noobs, what other like immediate content was there in Mortal 1? You had to go out and find fights. You had to go out and find shit. You had to go out and find people. If you just sat, like most people played Mortal Online 1, never left Tindrum, sat in town all day and then quit and never logged in again after a couple weeks.
But Decker, you could sit in Bhakti like
like
you said, and then
leaving-
have PvP come at PvP Hill every day.
That's true.
People would
But
show
that
up.
happened outside of town, right? Like you had to go out. You had to go out there and look for it half the time, or they'd come out and tickle Bhakti. They'd be killing guards and shit to get us to come out and fight and shit
Mm-hmm,
into the
mm-hmm.
town. You can't do that now, which means that it's even more prevalent to go out and look for content. If you're sitting in town, you're not going to find any.
I think they should push for players that are, and I know this sounds bad to one style, but I'm kind of, as you can tell from my tag, leaning toward that playstyle right now. You should, if you're either red or a bandit, like the only bandits I see outside of town now are like AI bandits. There should be red players like everywhere, like they should, or in the lawless towns. You know, if you don't like guard PvP or anything like that, the lawless towns should be populated. There should be an economy there, but there just isn't.
No, you're right, Flame.
Because
They should be.
this
Like, look at Krenish, it's empty. The only
yeah,
red town that's actually populated is GK.
Well,
But
trying to
most
get
of the
reds not
time,
to rip each other apart too. You know.
most of the time, the Levy
yeah,
are just out there, though. You know.
yeah. That town should be popping. It should be like the sewers. You know, they should be there killing each other. You just hop in and you join like this big mosh pit of fighting. Like it should be like that. But the
Well,
system right now is too forgiving, in my opinion. That if you want to play and you want to do PvP, you should be living either out of a lawless town or you do most of your PvP in a different how do I say,
Except for Thursars.
in another nation. Oh yeah, Thursars.
It's not too easy
I,
for them.
the only real
That's
bottleneck
true.
there would be like crafting gear in a lawless town, like trying to get somewhat kitted, getting a sword in your hands. You know what I mean? Before somebody fucking murks you. You know.
Well, this game is also like they claim to say that it's based around groups, so you should have a group there and like say, "Hey, I'm your crafter.
I agree.
Watch me, and I'll make gear for the whole group." You know, little things like that, and then people are like,
Mhm.
"Hey, you look, you know, he's crafting in Kranesh. Let's go try and mess with them, try and mess with their economy." But because the system supports players that don't really like, yeah, you can max your rep out to what it is and still have a really good time. But I think that the idea of moving rep to inside the cities. So if you drop below 0, that's it. The rest of your gameplay is probably going to be red, or if you're like a -1, you should be able to go into the city. So you keep the blue players in the cities and you keep the red players outside roaming and getting what they want, which is content, PvP, and stuff like
I agree with you. 100%.
But no, you are right, though, Poots, and I did say that you can play the game however you want, and I respect everybody's way of playing. And there are a lot of people that like taming horses, and that's totally a fair way to play.
Yeah, I mean those people you probably end up buying their horse at some point
And they
too in the
don't
broker.
really fight, and that's fine. But you kind of know who those people are, if you know what I mean. Like you see them
Yeah.
selling horses on the broker, they don't come out and fight. But other people, they'll sit in town until they have 3 times your numbers, then they'll suddenly come out. You know,
It's because
Kodo's
they're
very
trying to.
guilty of that.
Oh,
Draco's
Kodo,
doing
yeah.
it.
Well, I mean, like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna run out there against outnumbered odds, you know?
Not
You're gonna get
outnumbered,
all the
but
boys on.
go out
You're gonna
there,
get all the boys on, and then you're gonna
go
go.
out there even, go out there and
That's
fight us 5v5.
ideally, but this is a sandbox game, bro, and that shit ain't ever gonna be fair. I hate to burst your bubble on that, but
I don't mind. I
that.
don't even mind fighting outnumbered, but when they
some
bring
people will play it
15,
cool with you, but it ain't ever gonna be fair.
I mean, it'll get better when we have like houses and keeps because like you'll be camping their house or keep or like Draco specifically, like their keep spot's great, but at the same time, like their strength is their weakness. They only have one bridge going into that keep, so if you just sit on that bridge for long enough, eventually you're gonna kill enough of their guys going in or out of the keep that like they're gonna have to respond because they can't leave or get in, you know. So I think I don't think you should be expecting town PvP to be the pinnacle of PvP because it's gonna be like bottom tier PvP once we have
Exactly.
the systems that are coming that we know are coming soon even so I think you should just be a little bit more patient and you'll see like once TC is out like a lot more people are obviously going to come back to the game too, so there will be a pop boom for that as well. And
that'll
we'll
be
see
great.
like yeah, we'll see more players. And I was going to say earlier too, like the red towns aren't populated now, but like at launch, even if we only have like 1k players, like that'll be like a shit ton of PvP like
hmm
day to day,
I've been
1k
pushing
at
for.
any point in time of the day.
I was pushing for Miscreants to live out of Kranesh. I think that they should. I think we should.
Think that
I
Team
mean,
Rocket and 7 needs to be there. Although 7 is ARPK now, aren't they? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know how well you guys will do if like the first stress test, like those all those guilds who lived in Cran at that time, which was like VII, Dread, Quad, content. I don't know what you guys would
2017.
do. What?
There was a guild named 2017 that lived in Cran for a long time.
Oh, one or?
Yeah, then in
Oh,
2017.
I was talking about MO2.
Yeah.
Oh,
MO1
okay,
guilds.
sorry. I thought you were talking about the 20 or the MO1 Cran guilds. Like always.
No,
Elite
I said
Mage
from
and
the
his guys.
from the first stress test. No, that's what I was talking about.
I don't know if in Kranish as well, when it was populated, if you went there and you fought a couple of times, won and lost, you'd build a relationship with the guys, and you didn't actually fight all the time. So
No,
you
all
know,
those guilds
For
ended
the
up making
stress, I didn't
like
play
a
for it, so-
non-aggression with each other. They ended up non-aggression, and they would just go attack Fab every day.
yeah,
In the
yeah.
first stress test, I'm talking about. Actually,
That's
eventually
one thing
though,
I hope we
they
don't
got
see.
pissed off and they started killing each other though at some point.
Isn't that kind of how Cran was designed though? Was to be like a bandit town that raids Fab?
It basically
Yes.
is. That's why I'm
But
kind of hoping they don't turn Toxide into a red town, because then it would be just Fab 2.0. Like you would just have like all the red guilds and Toxide just camping scaffold all day long. And
There needs to be like another red
No,
town,
I don't
maybe up in the. There's like that whole pine forest north of Sausage Lake, up in that whole area where there's just nothing. There's just a huge forest with nothing.
there's already 3 red towns in the north. There's nothing in the west or southwest.
I just
That's
really
true,
hope all
too.
the big guilds in the game don't team up. You know what I mean?
Of course
I
they
hope
are,
they're
dude.
all
They
not
already are.
terrified of
What are you
each
talking
other
about?
and
They've
team
already
up.
teamed up, man.
They're
mean-
literally already doing it, dude.
It's sad.
In a sense, not like, I mean, they'll still kill each other, but when it comes to anything that's gonna matter, already
The funny
happening.
thing is like you've got these big guilds like Kodo and Legion, and you know they've got what 20 active players that when they go out and roam. But imagine if some like
Well, I mean,
200,
later.
300 man
But
WoW guild started playing this game. They would
They would get-
own it.
No, they would get
yeah,
dunked
that's
down
what
a
I'm
week.
saying. There's gonna
How you
be
gonna
like
play
fast
WoW and
play.
come play fucking Mortal, dude?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying though, or any game, you know, a Black Desert guild or any like big massive guild could just come in and just
a
wreck
Rust
Kodo.
clan would make more sense.
A Rust clan too, yeah. Any like a Ruster could come on here and just wipe Kodo and Legion out in 2 seconds if they had enough people. All you'd really need is maybe 100 active people, maybe 150.
I
Yeah,
think
and
you'll
that
see the active numbers of those guilds swell too, man. I wouldn't. I think
I mean,
you're wildly underestimating the situation.
I don't know. I don't see any real outside guild being a real threat in this game. I think maybe at first they'll have big numbers and they'll
But that would be
puff their
epic.
chest,
That would be
but
epic
eventually
too.
they're just gonna die out, and then a lot of the people who end up staying and playing the game will just join these other like established guilds. That's what I see
Yep.
happening.
But what I think is
personally.
that's what makes this game so interesting too. Is it's such a small community. I feel like it's like living in a small town in America.
What's up,
Everybody
Will?
knows everybody in this game. Everybody,
Yeah, that's like one of the great things about the game too, is the player driven economy and then like the politics that go with it. It's like, I mean, I personally don't like specific individuals based on like how they hold grudges, and like specific guilds are gonna attack specific guilds in MO2 just because they were at war in MO1 and like they can't let shit go. It's like, I don't know. I think MO2 should kind of be like a clean slate for
a
most
clean
people.
slate. I
If they
agree.
show
Well,
the
hang on,
same
hang on.
behaviors, then sure. But if they're like, it was like 8 years ago, bro. Like at the same time.
I
Like,
hear you
I don't
on
know.
that,
To
but
Medulla with
those
an
kinds of
Elysium tagging.
rivalries drive these games. Those kinds of rivalries
Yeah.
drive these games
Yeah,
forward.
but you'll also get new rivalries the same
Yeah.
way.
Don't
I
worry
don't
about that.
think
You will get.
having to
You will
hold on
get it.
to a grudge from 6 years ago is really that big a deal to you. I don't know, man. I think there's
that's still
some other
content
issues.
for them, dude. And I hear you.
I don't
hear
think
what
it's
you're
content. I
saying.
think they take it too seriously. Is what it is. I think
No,
it's
I don't disagree, but it's still content that's still gonna
yeah.
generate that.
It's
hate
content for
those
you
other
and me
people is
who's not
still-
involved, but these other people, I don't know.
When I
Go-
showed
go
up to
touch
Medulla
grass
with
or
an
something.
Elysium tag, Kodo instantly killed me. I didn't even know they hated each other.
Wait, who?
When I showed up to Medulla with an Elysium tag, which is Steagle's guild from MO1, Elysium, we were a pretty big guild.
Yeah, weren't you at war
Uh,
though with Kodo in MO1?
In MO1, yeah, we were. But I had no idea that there was going to be an MO2 rivalry or anything, because as far as I knew, when I joined, I was the second person to join the guild. Steagle was playing purely by himself. You know what I'm saying? So it's a one-man guild, and he had done nothing to them. So as soon as I showed up, Kodo killed me, and I was like, why? I didn't understand it. And then they told me, oh, well, But that goes back to the MO1, MO2 rivalry. Why is there an MO2 rivalry between the two? There shouldn't be. Clean slate. What I would think, it should be a clean slate.
So this game thrives on reputation because it's one server, because you can't hide from people if you've like done them wrong or anything like that. I think consequences in a game should work like that, because just like I said, in Dark Souls it's unforgiving, but it's also one game of the year many times, because a lot of games don't do that anymore. They don't make you learn from your mistakes. It's a lot of, oh well, you get a award for just playing the game or logging in today or something like
Mhm.
that.
I agree.
We've
Mortal should
missed
stay
this
hardcore.
yeah, we've missed this aspect of, hey, if you do something in game, if you're jumping on a Call of Duty lobby and saying, oh, you're trash kid, you're whatever, this and that, then the next lobby you never see those people again. In this game, it's not like that. Every time you interact with the community, you either gain something like a benefit, like you gained like your networking, or you made an enemy that will give you content later on or for like the next 10 years. You don't get that from any other game. And that's something I do appreciate about Mortal. And I hope they never change that, to be honest. But, there
100%,
have
dude.
been in the community where they said, hey, let's start a clean slate. And I've heard a lot of the guild leaders, even though they're doing a lot of stuff right now, and Persistence will wipe their KOS lists and stuff like that and actually police it and keep it like that. Which I can respect that. They are going to probably do something like that. I know a lot of the guilds agreed to something like that.
Wait, who's wiping
And
their KOSs?
I think I can't confirm who all will be doing it, but I know my old guild, Requiem, they also were going to do that. Start clean slate, essentially.
Are you gonna rejoin Requiem at launch if they come back?
They're on break. It's not looking good right now, but we'll see. Anything can happen in Immortal. This game will probably be the next.
I'm happy to
MO1
see all
for
the
10
old players
years.
playing again too. I'm really happy to see all the old people that I used to see on MO1 playing again. I'm happy to reconnect with everybody.
Yeah. As much as I like hate the old grudges, it is like pretty cool as someone who wasn't relevant at all in MO1 to like, because I still like heard things. I still kind of knew people, and I was actually present on the forums a lot more than even in game, because when I didn't play the game, I would still check the forums. I would still watch the map and just see who was getting sieged by who and like all the shit talk on the map that the
Me
map used
too.
to have. But it is cool to see like all these names who like I used to fight RPK, and I used to fight Hayasa, and they were
It's
obviously
good to
shit
see him
talkers.
here.
Yeah, I just ended up doing like an RPK guild interview, and like he seems a lot. I mean, we all grew obviously as people, so he seems like a lot more chill than I remember him being, and he seems like a decent dude, and like I knew who he was and stuff. Like this was
I ran into
I fought
him,
him in
Mobius.
I fought him like 7 years ago in 2014. You know what I mean? Like I didn't think I was ever gonna see that guy again. Like so, it's just it's interesting.
It's cool seeing everybody come back. I walked into Vada one time and I ran into Vicness, and he was like, "Hey, dude, how you doing? I hadn't seen him in forever." I was happy to see Vicness playing again. I was happy to see Whirl playing again. You know, um, everybody. Even happy to see Sneeze playing again. I'm happy that everybody that I knew on MO1 is still playing, and we're all still loving the game.
How often do people call Vicness War Daddy in comms, Assassin?
Oh, that's like a daily ritual. No, I'm just joking.
What daddy?
Yeah, I'm just a fledgling, so I'm like a trial member. I'm not really.
Flame,
Like,
when's
leading
Gray
anything.
coming back? Have you heard anything?
What? Who?
Gray still plays. He's in Legion.
Ray?
Mm-hmm.
Gray Fox,
Gray plays. Gray P.
Gray P. I wouldn't really know about that.
He just
You,
joined Legion recently.
no, he was in Legion when I was in back in July, August. He's the famous YouTuber. Gray still plays. He's got like 5-6 million subscribers on
Oh yeah,
YouTube.
no, he's posting videos on other content right now. I actually just watched one of his videos yesterday. That's funny you said that, but
But he's
yeah,
in Legion. I thought it was cool to see him playing.
yeah, he's still there.
I think these guys only really play these games during the stress test, and then they like move on. We had a guy called Sir Medieval who's like a YouTuber too, but he only played during like the first stress test, and I really haven't seen him since. He was actually
Gray
on New
seemed
World
to
for a
be.
while.
The thing about content creators is you have to stay active. It's like your job, right? You got to be productive. You got to do something. Like even for me, I stream, but I stopped after the stress test just because, either you're doing something that's just coming out, it's fresh, brand new, and you need to like either keep it on the down low, or people are stream sniping now, which is a thing. Content creation for Mortal 2 isn't very friendly. Like a lot of the content you see right now are just like PvP fights for the most part. The game's not very creator friendly, or like at its certain point in time right now. Hopefully that changes in the future. But
Because you just get stream sniped.
well, yeah, that's true.
Well, that
but
and there's
I
not.
think,
It's like the same regurgitated content at a certain point.
Yeah, there's not
Yeah.
much to show off.
yeah.
You remember when Killux used to stream? He used to walk around with 1,000 gold in his inventory when he would stream, hoping people would stream snipe him.
15-minute delay.
No, he had it. He had it ready. He was really trying to die.
Yeah,
Well,
a-
that was a
interesting
problem
concept.
too in MO1. Is like by the end, people just had stacks and stacks of gold, and I don't think the game had enough gold sinks too.
Yeah, they
And
really weren't.
oh, actually, this is something I did want to talk about. It's kind of relevant. Is like the stolen items when you kill people, like that needs to get fixed. Like they either need to let you move stolen items to like horse bags and like refresh horse crim timer as some sort of like penalty so it's not abused. But like if not that, like they need to let you delete the items. Because if I loot someone and I'm now overweight and can't move for like
You're
2
gone.
minutes, that's a fucking problem, man. Because one, if it's like outside Meduli, obviously, and it's like Kodo, they're probably gonna fucking send people. And if I can't move, like I'm fucked. And the stolen item timer doesn't start until you pick up the item. So they could even start the timer of when you actually killed the person, like immediately, like okay, 2 minutes and all the
Mhm.
items are no longer considered stolen or whatever they want to do. But if you allowed people to delete items, like I talked a little bit about this on the MO Discord, it could be used as griefing, yes, but even if it does, it's still good for the game's health because it's putting more value on future materials and gold in the game because things are being removed from the game and it's not just being recycled to everybody. It's actually removing stuff from the game, so now you need more stuff, so players have
Yeah,
to go
just
out and
like
farm.
you go out and you kill somebody in the graveyard, like some Kodo. You kill him in the graveyard and you loot his walker heads, and then you're too full to move, and then
Yeah.
Kodo will come and kill you in 2 seconds.
That's one thing I mentioned in Discord the other day. Is that every time you die, it depends if you got the last shot was like on your head or something. You should lose the helmet, for example. Like in Eve, when you die in Eve, you lose some of your loot, and you can still loot
Mhm.
some of it. But that would create like you know
Oh,
a gold.
Maybe
Yeah,
even more punishing. Yeah, you lose the hull and most of the modules on the hull.
exactly. But like if for example, I just got killed, man. You managed to stick your sword in me, and surely that helmet is not usable anymore.
You should lose Dura when you die.
Or 10% durability on everything, or whatever, or you completely lose one item of the armor or something, you know. And then that would create also like, oh yeah, I gotta go and make this again, kind of thing,
I don't know.
instead of reusing armor.
Lately, I've been doing a lot of thinking about the systems that they put in, and I'm kind of connecting the dots that we get a lot of these inconveniences in the game, kind of like that, like not being able to throw away a lot of loot, someone's like loot, because we have a unique, is what the word I'm going to use, a unique community that will do things just because it will inconvenience the other player. Like, let's say you have a full inventory, they'll just dry loot it or just grab it and just delete stuff straight from the inventory. I think that's just a bad way or to play the game or for the game to be played, because if you can't hold it, just to delete it just because you're like, hey, I'm just going to delete this stuff, it makes no sense. The stuff should be on the ground if you can't hold it. If you have like a horse, it should take some time to stack up, like, I don't know, 20 stacks of freaking Saburi pulled off of 6 horses. You shouldn't just delete it. That stuff's either on the ground or it's on you. I think it's good to keep it in play, and it keeps engagement so you don't have like hidden runs, like, making it easy for people like, hey, I outnumbered you, I hit like 5 of your guys, and that stuff's gone. No, they should take some time to organize it. Maybe there's like a reaction. It keeps PvP alive, I think, if you're stuck in place and you have to time management essentially to try and get away. Like, drive-bys it's just not fun, and the PvP kind of gets stale that way, in my opinion.
And they have to do something, because if I kill you and you're farming calcs, if I want to take your calcs, I'm overweight. It doesn't matter what build I am. 1 stack of calcs, I'm probably overweight, right? I can't ride my horse.
Well, yeah, but at
Uh,
some point you're able to put on the horse and then ride away with it, right?
yeah, it's like 2 minutes though. And it doesn't start when you kill the guy; it starts once you pick it up.
True,
Like
and
that's
why I said
that's part of the
I
timing
don't
problem.
like I don't like that we can destroy items straight out of our inventory without some kind of trash bin or tool to do it with. Personally,
I think you should just drop, honestly. If you
hmm
like pull it out of your inventory, you should drop on the ground. But then you have the problem with Mortal doesn't really have the because it's a huge world. Imagine 1,000 people dropping stuff on the floor and it being there for like 5, 10, 20 minutes, or like I guess like 30 minutes would
well,
probably be like a more
just
fair
being
time.
able to put it back in the loot bag.
Well, yeah, that would actually be like throw something you don't want that's on you into the loot bag. I mean, that could be good to
And then
drop.
that'll just despawn, you know,
But yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
and if
You
you
did found ups. You did almost kill my horse yesterday.
or
Yeah.
slash drop loot. You know what I mean? Slash drop loot, pick up your shit again.
yeah.
I just want to say we are gonna wrap up in 14 minutes because I have some stuff I got to take care of. But yes, we'll wrap it up soon.
And guess what? There was a bug because when you were shooting my horse, I was taking damage on the horse, but the horse didn't make any noise or do any of the animations. You know, when your horse gets hit, how it'll whine and like kind of rear or whatever, so you know you're
Yeah.
getting hit. My horse just stood there. It didn't do anything. It didn't make any noise or anything. And he was shooting it, and I was point blank range, so it wasn't like he was far away. It was really weird. I didn't even know I was getting hit. I didn't even know my horse was getting hit.
I had that before. We're doing the troll in Hispire, and our horse was just behind us. And I think Slav came around the corner and started killing the horses. Next thing we know, we had one horse left because Mermax looked back behind and, oh, they're here attacking us, kind of thing.
No, that's another thing. Let's get them to fix horse fall damage. It's ridiculous. You fall a little drop and your horse dies.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I kind of like it. Because mounted have to be more careful when they're in certain terrain, which is good for foot fighters. But sometimes it's really traveling the map, and I'll like hit like a little. The
I
horse is
agree.
half its health. So I
It
see it
should
from
just
both
go over
sides.
that shit, no problem. It should go over that shit, no problem. But I would prefer to see horses get slowed a little bit going up inclines, just a little bit. It
Yeah,
doesn't
me
have to
too.
be a
I
huge,
agree with Zach. It should slow down more.
just a little bit, you know, a little bit more. Or
Yeah.
even if it does it all, I haven't noticed. I haven't
Doesn't
ran.
at all
I
currently.
did think so, yeah.
We'll see what they add. I think they're gonna add the weather system with the heat and cold. Are they at some
Yeah,
point?
so that'll affect like what armors you wear. I don't think that really applied in Maryland. I think that was more like a Sardukan.
Yeah, and that's what killed Sarduka PvP. That's why nobody PvP'd there.
You could get Sardukan armor, man. I mean, I can't remember if it was any good or not, but I logged in
Sarduka
the
had
other
its own
day and
weird culture, though.
yeah.
Sarduka was all the Bhakti people, all the Care Bear Bhakti people moved out there.
Yeah, I lived
All right,
there
you
for the
guys have
last
a
couple
great
of
night.
months.
I'm gonna bounce.
All right,
Thank you
man.
for
Later,
having
Zach.
me on the cast, dude.
Okay, have a good one.
Yeah, you guys have a great day.
Nice meeting you, man.
It was nice meeting you too. Take it easy, guys.
Later, Zach. Good to see you.
Cheers.
Yeah. You guys, does anyone have anything else we want to talk about over the next 10 minutes, basically?
Is Acolytes coming back?
Oh yeah, for sure. We're just we'll be back for this keep patch, and then we'll have a lot more people for launch. Because I get DMs every once in a while. Okay, is it still January 25th or whatever? Don't even worry about it. Like we're not really playing right now, so like I don't want to tell people to come back and play, and I'm like, barely playing myself. So
Yeah, I feel like
this
the
doesn't make
game's
it.
gonna really be dead in January, like up until release, right? Like nobody's gonna be playing the beta. The weeks up and coming to it, right? Because there'd be no point. Do you think?
Depends. See? The last chance for you to test your build before like it's really hard to change your build.
Yeah, it's getting harder, I think.
I'm gonna go suicide with my Quran sword.
Yeah, and then people want to use their good mats too, of course. So if anyone has Cronite or Tungsteel or whatever the fuck, they're gonna use it or they lose it.
Last minute blowout party, just fighting everywhere.
Yeah.
Hide map.
I don't know if I made a mistake with my work because I took a week off for launch week, but God, do I not like I foresee so many server issues. That I'm probably not even gonna get to play. I'm probably gonna be sitting in a login boss
Henrik
like
has a
the first
huge
few
vision for
days.
how he wants the game to be, with the thousands of people everywhere and everything. But if that happens, they really need to expand the cities. They're a little bit too small, especially the bank buildings. They can barely hold 10 people. If there's
Yeah,
100 people in Bhakti, you wouldn't be able to move.
yeah, it just takes 2 horses to block any like bank basically. So
Well, they should do it like in Ultima Online. You know, you have to be inside or near the building and say bank, and then the bank opens, kind of thing. So it doesn't really matter if you're talking to the guy in the bank or not.
Cities
Yeah,
need
your
2
bank.
banks. They need to be a little bit bigger. Like the new Tindrum Bank is pretty big. It's pretty good.
Yeah, in Fab you got a second bank, which is pretty good
Mhm.
as well. You got a way in and way out.
They expanded the Meduli Bank next. Now they just got to expand the Curate Town banks. They're still too small.
even the Meduli bank for like 100
Yeah, I
people
know.
trying to
Yeah,
use it,
it's still
like
too small. They
no
expanded it,
shot,
but it's
dude.
still too small.
So when like people AFK in there, you're gonna be see people constantly pushing people just to get into the fucking bank.
They
Oh
need to
man, it's gonna
add
be bad.
gray on pushing too many times. That needs to happen soon, like they had in MO1, because people just push people out of town. We do it all the time.
I have a quick question for you guys. I know people complain about content, but every day when I go out, I always meet somebody in the wild. And how many players you think there is playing right now? Like 100, 200? I don't know.
500 maybe.
So okay, imagine this map with 4,000 players like Henrik Wenstman.
Be
I
too
don't think
many.
there's 500. I think it's closer to like 2 or 300
I'm
at
saying
best.
500 people log in every day. I would say, total, not at
Not
one time.
even, not even.
500.
EU's fucking dead for one. It's mostly NA. I would say it's closer to like 200-300. I wouldn't go over 300 personally.
But
Yeah,
imagine
maybe
with
you're right.
4,000, man. Imagine 4,000 people in this little map because it is. I mean,
Oh
the
yeah,
map looked
it
big,
would
but
be overflowed. But
yeah.
You
once
wouldn't
we
be able to
have
farm. You
once
go
we have
down to
like
satyrs, you
TC
get
and
killed.
housing, it'll be a lot better. And there's satyrs everywhere. Like in the
Yeah, but
jungle,
even there'd have to
there's
be more.
fucking satyrs
Even
everywhere.
with 10 satyr camps, it's not enough because there's 2,000 people.
Well, not everyone's gonna be. I think it would be to farm satyrs. I think there's so many satyr camps in the jungle that you could get away with it if you know where they are. Obviously,
I
most
just
people
think
will go
I
to
think
like
you'd
the
get
closer
jumped. I
ones.
think you'd get jumped every 2 seconds, or like traveling between towns. I think you would get jumped realistically all the
easy,
time.
Well, not
easy.
everyone KOSs people either. Like I don't even KOS people all the time. I'll meet somebody, I'll talk to them. Like it's like meeting me is kind of weird because it's like you have I don't even know if I'm going to kill someone when I walk up to them. It really depends on like their tone and like how the conversation initially
Do
goes.
you
If I
remember the other
decide
day when you were dueling outside Tindrum and I walked up and had you guys kill me so I could ghost? That was
the
funny.
other day, wasn't that like
Or
weeks
like a
ago?
week ago. Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
I haven't played in Tendrum in like 2 3 weeks, so
It
it
was
must have been
funny
like
as
weeks
hell
ago.
because I walked up and you guys were like, "Hey, Sky, what's going on?" I was like, "Kill me."
I don't even know if that was me at all, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Um, but no, I think they should really make the outside world lawless. Uh, I think we will see like a huge
Yeah,
uh
definitely no murder counts when you kill somebody in the middle of nowhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I like when you're talking about like a range. What's it called again? Um, like when you have a keep and you got like the area that the keep controls, kind of thing. If the town is nowhere near, man, there's no control there. Then yeah, no more that counts, man. No need. You got killed
I
in
get
the
murder
quiet.
counts in the graveyard or something like that, but murder counts at bandits or at risers or murder count, that's just unnecessary.
side Seder temple.
Yeah.
I hope they add some stuff to Seder temple. It's kind of boring. Does anyone even go there anymore?
No,
Honestly,
yeah, it is boring.
like it looks cool, but once you've done it once, there's no reason to go that far or anything.
I'm not really a fan of the new Minnow dungeon either.
They changed it. I went there yesterday, and they got the new cloth. Is it clothful area, wherever
Hmm
there's the
hmm
spiders?
I think they
That's
Oh,
need to.
actually
I
really
liked
nice.
how it
Yeah.
was in MO1 with the big room full of minotaurs, and you could come in there with an MA and circle them and farm them. Now they're kind of unsoloable to an extent, and I liked that
I
they
don't
were
think you
kind of.
can solo them. Has anyone soloed a Minotaur?
I don't think they're soloable, and that's what I'm
I've
saying.
seen some augmenters solo them and some
Oh.
Thursars.
oh, the Mino. Holy crap.
I could see Thursar. Well, maybe Ogmirs too because of all their passive like damage reduction. But Thursars have that lifesteal. That lifesteal is so big, man.
Yeah, but you just can't even play a Thursar with the way the rep system works.
And you just can't go around
You
murdering everybody.
exactly. I think everyone's trying to avoid that. The red play style of hey, can't go into town.
Or they just make you
It
go gray
should-
first.
Yeah.
I was using a massing maul yesterday in the minor dungeon, man. It was like 150 damage to those miners.
Yeah,
Crazy damage.
you can't even take mounts into the dungeons anymore.
Well, you
I can't even
can,
take my
but
mount. Well, I mean,
it's
like, yeah, but it's like you can't do MA, is what I'm saying.
no, you can't. Yeah.
Not even the spider caves. I tried to go down there when I was getting clips for my trailer, and I was like, "Why the fuck is my horse riding at like 1 speed? Like, what the fuck is this game?" And I remember it was like, "Oh yeah, they fucking changed that." It's like I felt like an idiot. I was like, "Horse!" Like I'm like spamming W. I'm like, "Go!" What the fuck?
Well, yeah,
Yeah, Twitch
we
servers
got
was
jumped
better.
by Koto yesterday. 15 of them versus like 7 of us by then.
Is that what all the shit talk I was seeing in Health that Kodo was doing?
We don't shit talk them, man. There's no need. It's a
No,
fight.
I'm saying I saw them shit talking somebody yesterday
Were they?
in Health.
I don't know what it is, but they hate lyrics, man. And lyrics was whenever he streams, they make a group and go and fight him. So we're obviously in the minor dungeon, and there was 15 Koto outside. It's like, yeah, we're done.
They love to zerg and shit talk. That's what they love to do.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, he probably does shit talk back at some points, but it's so funny. You'll always see in MO Discord like Kodo guys like talking shit to lyrics, and it's almost like he's not even reading what they're saying. He just keeps going on with what he's talking about. Usually, it's about balance of some sort.
He just
And, like,
ignores them.
yeah, Kodo's like
Yeah.
shit talking him, and he's just still talking about like, well, you shouldn't be able to do this as a mage, or as a foot fighter, you can do this. And then Kodo's like, yeah, you're fucking dog shit. 1v1 a bear more, haha, 3v1. And then he's just like, yeah, but the balance is like, he doesn't even read it. Like, I don't think he reads it. Like,
He just doesn't
or he just
care.
blocks them all. I have no idea.
It
But
doesn't fade him. No.
it doesn't phase him at all. And it just, I don't know if it makes them more mad or what, but they just keep going, like shit talking him, and he just keeps going on, ignoring it as far as I can tell. It's
They
funny as
hate
shit.
them. They hate him. We had a good fight in Fab last week with Koto, like even fights, and every time, when we died, they would delete lyrics loot, but not ours. It was like, you can guys can come and get your loot, and then fight again. It's like we have to re-gear lyrics every time. But yeah, it is what it is.
All right, well, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap it up here then, boys. Thank you guys for coming and talking with us. I think we had a good conversation. I got to meet Skylander. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
What's up, Payson? Nice to meet you too, man.
I would not have thought you had been civil from the things I've heard from pretty much just Kodo, I think. Yeah, it's nice to
You hear a
meet
lot of
you.
rumors about me, man. People say a lot of stuff. It's not true.
Yeah, man. No, you seem cool.
I have
But,
to say, I always backed you guys off, Miscreants. I always, since I met Retrospect, I don't see it. You guys are doing anything wrong. Sure, you guys can try to kill my horse a couple of times. Like yesterday, I think Mifrico, I don't know how to say his name. He tried to kill my horse, but I managed to.
We're just having fun, man. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, exactly. So I got no hate with you guys.
It
so.
really is true. Miscreants have the most fun. Think about it. There's no rules. You do what you want.
Yeah.
So you've got nobody telling you, oh, you can't kill that guy. You can just do what you want to do. It's fun. And creates loads of content. Loads. Because when the whole game doesn't like your guild, you've got a lot of people to fight.
Yeah, and people actually get out of the towns to come and fight you. And Jasper as well. Jasper is actually the last 2 weeks. I'm actually looking up to them because they're not like the trashy they used to be. But I mean, please, if they're on chat, I do love you guys. But they're really nice now. They're like, there's some honor there. Like,
They're getting better, though.
yeah, they're good.
But I'm happy I got to meet you too, Poots, and I haven't really seen you in game very much. I didn't play during the stress test or the original one or whatever when you were playing a lot, so I never
Right.
ran into you.
yeah, man. Yeah, I don't play as much anymore. I'll be playing a lot more closer we get to release, probably, just to get my guild more and more active. Because my guild dies every time I stop playing. So fortunate, but true. So I have to start playing more if I want my guild to be more. Start recruiting. The closer we get to launch, the more I'll be playing.
What did they even tell you? They said I was uncivil.
Oh, you talking about Kodo?
Yeah, what did they say?
I don't know. I think they when you were in like Elysium, I think they just called you like you guys were griefers or really
Yeah,
because
yeah.
because I think you guys ended up coming to Fabrinum, or I started seeing your tags in Fabrinum when we lived in Fabrinum, and I remember that Kodo was talking about you guys or something, so I reached out, and they were just like, yeah, they're griefers. Watch out for him.
Yeah, I think
No,
the
I mean-
first the first introduction I got to Skylander was the 48-hour movie.
Yeah,
video.
you know,
I
and
don't
let
think
me
it was
say
a good
something. Let me.
impression.
You what?
I don't think it was a good impression to many people. I think that's why.
They were just. I just kind of got mad. I shouldn't have behaved that way like I did in that video. But I'll be honest, I really did stay awake for 48 hours and kill their horses for 48 hours straight. We really did do it.
Holy crap!
I
That's
was
a
serious.
dedication.
We did it in shifts too, like a night crew, morning crew. I was there the whole time.
But that's what this game is, man. You can get so passionate about this game that it can, like, when's the last time you had a reaction like that from a game? You know, it's usually like, oh, whatever, you know. But
And we crashed our clients around town too, so it would always look like we were there. So the coder never knew if we were there or not. We're just all crashed clients around the bank. We had one guy in the bank crashed. We had one guy over at the crafting tables. So Kodo never knew if we were there or not. They always
Sounds
had to
like
look over their shoulders.
sounds a lot like EVE Online, man. Just
All right.
logged on forever.
I
It's
gotta
fun.
head out though, guys. But so I have to shut it down. But I do appreciate you guys coming. Yeah, look forward to maybe invite you guys back for another podcast in the future or whatever.
Of course, man. Let me know.
All right,
take it easy, guys.
have a good one, boys.
Later, Putin. Later,
See you later,
Fern.
guys.
Later, Uri.
Bye.
All right. So thank you guys for coming to the podcast. Of course, thank you, everyone who was watching. We're gonna try and raid someone, so just give me a minute. We'll figure out. Oh, Found Ups is streaming, so he's the only person streaming Mortal right now. We're gonna go and raid him in a second. I did want to say that if you guys are interested at all in coming to the tournament, actually I'll link it, but go on the forums and vote for what tournament categories you guys would like to see. Because after tomorrow, the voting will be over. So I'm gonna link it here in chat. Just go vote for what brackets or categories you guys would like to see, and then also tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern, same time this podcast started, we're doing the ID Imperial Dreams Guild interview. So same time tomorrow of when we started, ID Guild interview. So come check that out. I know for sure Aralis and Roluf are coming to that. I don't know if they're bringing any more officers or whatnot. I don't know if they're even sure exactly quite yet. But yeah, same time tomorrow. Come check that out. All right, let's get Found Ups a raid real quick. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm alone, I'm a broken home. I gave you all the bricks that
Damage. It's ridiculous.